What broke him down? Was it just
the body punches? I was hitting him with body punches, and I heard him actually he was crying in there.
You're saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him?
Yes.
When did that happen?
And perhaps the 4th round on.
Boxingvoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time.
Absolutely, I knew he was tough and he was taking those punches.
WBC production.
Making woman gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ. This the champ. This the champ. With the same champ. This was Sally. Let's go.
Boxingvoice.com.
I'm a team like he's a C-plus fighter. I'm a dominant strongest fighter.
I'm talking about punch. We're going to punch you for 12 rounds. Either the referee says you had enough, or you can say you had enough, and you stay your ass there all night until you ain't had enough.
Man, I feel I'm the best in the sport, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. And all I did was beat opponents. I worked my way from the bottom to the top. I won a title by beating top competition and top fighters. This guy was the paper champion.
Do you feel that you're the best super middleweight right now?
Let's go, champ. He can bring the pressure. He can box. I'm a true champion. I'm willing to go to his turf in Atlantic City. I'm going to step on him. I'm going to crush him. Y'all can mark my word for this. I'm going to crush him. He's a C-plus fighter. I'm an A-plus fighter. Come Saturday night next week, all the fans tune in because I'm going to dominate. This guy is flat-footed, swing wild. I'm not worried about who his trainer is because his trainer can't get in there and fight for him.
WBC production.
Boxingvoice.com. Boxingvoice.com.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. And today we're going to be giving you our review of Terence Crawford taking apart Viktor Postol. For all you intelligent folks, you got it right. For all my dummies, it's Crow Day. Sunday's Crow Day, bitches. That being said, let's head on over to some of these lovely co-hosts.
Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Boxing fans, here's Jameson.
Can I say how nice it was to be able to order a pay-per-view finally? I cut my cable about 1.5 years ago, a little bit before my wedding, but I've always been saying for a long time, if they start putting these pay-per-views on the internet, I'll start paying for them like a normal Joe. And I got a crystal clear stream, so shout out to Top Rank for allowing this to be, I think, the first ever pay-per-view I think I've noticed. Anyway, I was excited this weekend. Before that, I was excited about the fights. I'm not disappointed that I paid the money for it. We could kick it on over to UK, see what he thought, but I was all right with the pay-per-view, and I was all right with the product that I got.
But he's just a little bit wingy. Wingy.
And a big shout out to Wingy as well. Real hardcore.
I like Wingy.
He's just the biggest boxing nut I've ever met.
Came to London looking for static. Let's go, champ. Have a good day.
Yes, people, ready to go. Got my Bob Marley coffee. Let's do it. Already, I'm seeing people doing the moonwalk. Well, Postol wasn't that good. Well, really, he wasn't that good, really, was he? We need to get into this, Nez. I've got some crow that needs to be served.
Well, we all knew that, people were going to react that way. It's kind of the typical reaction for the boxing fan. When their guy doesn't win, all of a sudden he's not that good. So, I don't know. We will see. We're going to jump out to these streets pretty soon and see what's going on. And we'll just kick it back and forth between us. Let's throw it out to James first. James, anything that stuck out in Terence Crawford last night on this pay-per-view performance?
His ability to box, we knew it was there. We saw him box, littler people, like someone like Yuri Gamboa. And the biggest intrigue in this fight was how is he going to negate what Postol is able to do? Because, I hate to disappoint a lot of people out there, but we've never really seen Postol necessarily in an exciting fight. If Terence Crawford was going to win this, I thought he was going to have to stick it on the inside. Instead, we found out how good of a boxer he is. So I knew he can box before, but now Postol is still, I'm not soured on Postol. He just lost to Crawford, and to me, Crawford is the best of this division, arguably one of the best, even at 147 if he moves up. I like him that much. But with that said, you know, Postol was able to box. He's a high-end boxer, so the fact that he was able to stay on the outside the way he was, control, use his jab, that really impressed me because I knew he had these attributes, but when you see it get tested against someone else who I thought had better boxing ability, it really showcased how good I thought Crawford really was. I don't know about you guys, but to me, the boxing ability about Crawford, it went from, to me, about a B+ to about an A or A-, or I almost give it an A+ because I thought this performance was that good.
I was really, really impressed. I was expecting Postol to be able to close the distance a little bit more effectively, but something was holding him off, whether it be that Crawford's movement, be that him tasting Crawford's power early, but I was expecting him to close the distance a little bit more. But many things I enjoyed in the fight, especially, I mean, we'll get to talk about the fight later, but especially the last round where Crawford literally kind of, you know, raised his gloves and said, "Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to walk onto these, walk forward into you and throw these punches," as opposed to sort of playing that sort of defensive on the back foot type of boxing. But I thought it was great. I thought he, I don't like saying schooled because sometimes it sounds disrespectful, but outside of possibly the first and maybe the third round, well, yeah, the third round, I had Crawford putting on an excellent performance. He done actually a little bit better than I was expecting him to, if I'm being honest. That's how I feel about it, James.
Yeah, as far as me, I think I gave Postol about 1 round is all I really could find to give him. I was impressed by Crawford because I thought that the size, the height, all that would come into play, and I was impressed because Crawford was easy. It was easy for him to maintain a distance, easy for him to set the pace. I mean, but again, you know, I'll get attacked for it. But, you know, typical European, he was just following around Crawford, looking real stupid. He looked like a fucking puppet. You know what I mean? Like the puppet master holding his hands. He's just running around. You know what he looked like? Actually, James is Irish. He looked like the fucking fighting Irish dog from Notre Dame's big stupid dummy is what he looked like going around the ring. Every corner. I mean, at this, you know, all these guys that called in, oh, Postol, he's world class, and Freddie, yada, 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 world trainer, oh. Did they forget to fucking teach those guys how to cut the ring off over there? I mean, Crawford was able to just move out the back door every single time he wanted to. And credit to Terence Crawford. I mean, before anyone says it or forgets to say it, the kid's stamina is insane. I mean, he moved laterally, back and forth. I mean, throughout the whole fight, he just kept his feet moving without any issues. And I was impressed by that, definitely, that his stamina was there. And again, the intelligence, right? Like, he came in with a separate game plan. We've used to seeing him being the bully, and this time around, he kind of was more like a matador.
I think that really worked to his favor because, I mean, like, another thing that Terence Crawford doesn't necessarily get credit for is people talk about him switching, going from southpaw to orthodox. This time he went southpaw basically the entire fight for 11 rounds. But what really impressed me a lot, I guess, would be when he started hurting Postol with the right hook. Postol didn't want to move to his left anymore, so when he was, like, following him around, he didn't want to cut off the ring because then all of a sudden here comes the straight left. Crawford kept constantly changing, I guess, his power punch. Either he would be very right hook dominant or very back left cross dominant. And I really enjoyed that because that really prevented two things. Postol didn't want to throw his jab anymore because every time he was doing it, he was getting met with the right hook either on the inside because Crawford's faster or on the outside when he was getting counterpunched. And then he didn't want to cut him off like you were talking about. So it just kind of negated his entire offensive plan. And the biggest thing we saw in this fight to me is, anyway, Postol didn't have a plan B. He thought he could live off his jab. He thought he could box the entire time. And Crawford himself, to his credit, had a plan A, B, and C. Even when he was winning, he still changed it up a little bit to be a little bit more dominant. He didn't just stick to a game plan. Well, I'm like on Twitter and I see people saying, "Oh, he was running. Oh, this fight was so boring." I saw a man making adjustments. I saw a man that was dominating, and he decided he was going to push it a little bit. He was constantly edging forward with his ability to, I guess, hit Postol. And I understand. Well, I had casuals over here for the fight. Some of them said that it was an okay fight. They didn't think that it was that tantalizing. But another one said it was awesome, and he enjoyed it because he could see it was very much a chess match. And that's what I think we got. And this is exactly what I expected, and I was happy for this fight because we got to see two high-level boxers box each other. Like I said, I think Postol is live in that division. I still think he could give serious issues to someone like Peterson, Felix Diaz, Jose Benavidez Jr. I think all these people have issues with Postol. It's just Crawford is that good. We need to start buying into him and understand that just because you lose to Crawford, I think he's now that type of fighter that it doesn't make you bad. It just means you lost to Terence Crawford.
2 points there. One thing which you said exactly that there is that Postol is still a skilled fighter, and you can tell. A lot of people saying, "Oh no, Postol's not that good." No, he's still a very good fighter. If you have seen Terence Crawford fights before, you can see that he actually started off with a little bit more forethought than usual. That's why a lot of people thought the early rounds were like chess matches and tight, as opposed to normally Crawford will get a little bit more engaged in the early rounds. He knew what was happening in this fight. He respected his opponent, and I like the fact that when Crawford decided he wanted to up his game, instead of being so sometimes going into the fire a bit, he could control somebody just like that. And the early thing that Nes said when he said about controlling the pace, that's a great point, because it seemed whenever Crawford wanted to impose himself, really step up the gas, he done it. And what happened when he did it, we saw Postol getting caught, flailing all over the ring. Whenever Crawford really said, right, I'm going to step up the pace, he was in control of that fight. Obviously, Postol got a couple of shots through, but whenever the pace was there to be stepped up, Crawford said, right, I'm going to do it, and he got it. I was impressed. It was really good, man. It was really, really good.
So what stuck out exactly for you from Terence Crawford, for the both of you? Like, what was I guess his if you had to give him extra credit for something, what would it be for?
For me, it would be his patience. I really liked it. Now, a lot of people will attribute or will associate that patience with running or being negative. But I like the fact he was thinking. I like the fact this wasn't Gamboa or Delorme early rounds where he's going in, getting hit, getting wobbled in this. The patience stuck out for me, Nes. I don't know about you, James.
I think I would just say his ability to get over an opponent like this, because I mean there was a lot of chatter. I know he knows that this opponent was better than most that he's fought before. So I guess his gears, let me say just his gears, his ability to change. Imagine you're on a bicycle, you're going uphill. He was able to click down and make that ride a little bit smoother and easier as the trenches got bad. And as soon as it started to level off, he stayed there and he kept his pace. So, I was impressed all around. There wasn't much I could say about this. You can't say defensively he wasn't bad. Offensively he was great. Defensively he was great. He controlled the ring because a lot of times aggression isn't effective, and that's what we saw in this fight. So I'd say gears.
Now, going based off the graphic, it seems like majority of the people that obviously use the app, so it's not a fair enough consensus, but majority of the people that use the Throwdown Fantasy app pick Crawford to win. Now, again, our initial preview show, the question was Vegas crazy? Now I ask you, is Vegas just intelligent? Entice the boxing fan just enough where a hardcore, intelligent, boxing MD type would be willing to put money on a Postol knowing he's not on that level with Crawford, but just believing because of the greed.
I think there was question marks around Crawford, and that's where those, not question marks, but for us, there was question marks around Crawford. In the public, I could see why he would be a 5-1. When you see this fight, it was a 5-1 fight, but still going into this fight, I mean, I guess Monday morning quarterback is easy to make those passes and be 100%, but coming into this fight, I still don't think it was a 5-1 fight. We just saw something different from Terence Crawford, whether it be Postol wasn't as good as we thought he was. Whatever the case may be, I still think the odds going into the fight are different, but coming out of the fight, the 5-1s they seem like they'll match up perfectly.
I know at the beginning of the show I was ready to say about that crow with that Jamaican spice for people, but in all reality, this was a close fight. Most of us edged to Crawford, but it was a close fight. It was a skilled fight, and it would be unfair, which we haven't really done so far. It would be unfair to now sort of brand Postol as being, oh, he wasn't that good anyway. So, yeah, I can see why the odds were like that, but it was a close fight going in, so I'm not going to pour too much crow on those who pick the other side.
Well, I am, because I told people, don't be fooled by the Matisse win. We went over the fact that Matisse had been hit a bit by Danny and then followed up with Molina and then followed that by Ruslan and then ultimately Postol, who altogether has 12 knockouts. overnight became this knockout puncher and a threat in the division, you know. But I'm excited. I am excited. What I do want to ask my good co-host is, what does this win mean? I've seen everything from top 5 pound for pound. Why is it that in one hand boxing fans are so fickle, and in another hand, you know, it's like, what have you done for me lately? Well, if you did do something, well, fuck it. I'm going to throw a parade for you, because now he's top 5 pound for pound, according to some.
I think that's what the fight does mean, in my opinion. He's now put himself up in those upper echelons. The fight also means to me the dream fight, which I would like to see, and we'll get to that subject at the bottom, is the Pacquiao. But in answer to your question, it means that he's now placed himself up there in that top 5. Some are saying top 3. Roy Jones Jr. saying top 3 pound for pound spot. I mean, I'm going to say yes, because I don't know about top 3, but I'm going to say yes, it has moved him up into that spot, because beforehand we were rating Postol. So I don't think it's fair to come on now and say, what has he done? The Matisse win was a very, very good win. Matisse, yeah, he'd been obviously sort of, I'm not going to say on a decline, but perhaps the threat had gone a little from Matisse, but it was still a very good win. So I do rate the win. Sorry, yacked on a little bit there. That's the Jamaican coffee. Off you go, James.
No, I mean, I don't know if I quite necessarily have him in the top 10. I mean, realistically, this is his biggest win to date, which I think is the biggest test. I think he's right there, though. I mean, if you put him in the top 10, I wouldn't say top 5 for sure. But if you edged him in at somewhere 8, 9, or 10, I'd have no problem with it. But to me personally, I still think I want one more fight under his belt with someone of this caliber. If he goes in there and beats Manny Pacquiao, without a doubt, no question, period. But if he goes in there and dominates someone like Lamont Peterson, just that win enough would be able to squeak him in there. So right now, I would say he's a dark horse or a wild card if you watch baseball. But I still like to pump my brakes a little bit, because there's other fighters on there that are more deserving, who have a more extensive resume, if not comparable resume. So I guess that's where I'll leave it. But Crawford, to me, is one of the best up-and-coming stars in the sport. I don't think this pay-per-view is going to do well, and that's not going to reflect his stardom, but I think his personality and how he fights inside the ring, this is the first kind of boring, quote-unquote, fight we've seen of him. I think that he could propel himself to be what I thought Tim Bradley would be, because I thought Tim Bradley would be a good pay-per-view star. People would love him. Unfortunately, I think Terence Crawford has more of a personality, so people are going to adapt to that a little bit better.
You know, it's strange for me, you know, easily, because I like to take the whole devil's advocate approach and be optimistic and, you know, hear both sides of the argument. I get branded as a hater, bias, but I just want us to all think. I want us all to just put on our thinking caps. Remember when we were in grade school, the teacher would say, put on your thinking caps, kids. I want you to think now. Why is it that a guy like Terence Crawford could have a fight with what we could all agree? We're not going to discredit Viktor Postol, but we could all agree today, July 24th, he's an average fighter in the 140-pound division. Not below average, Wingy. He's an average fighter. He's a good fighter, rather. Average is a bad word. Good fighter?
Right, that's better. That's better. Yeah, yeah.
Good fighter, right? Crawford obviously is a great fighter in that division. But putting things into perspective, or just, you know, staying within reality, Postol as an opponent doesn't compare to some of the other welterweight names out there, or junior welterweights for that matter, when that division was hot, is all I'm saying. So for you to thrust someone into the pound for pound simply because he fought, quote unquote, the number 1 or 2 in his division, when hasn't that been done already? Especially in that division?
But this was the number 1 and number 2 140 going into the fight. Everybody agreed to that, Nez.
Yeah, but the difference is, that's real quick, let me jump in and say, I think that the Sean Porter win with Keith Thurman is more valuable on his resume than what Viktor Postol is with Terence Crawford.
That's my point. Like, if you, again, put the opponent's resumes into perspective and you just say, all right, based on Terence Crawford's popularity and resume, he is automatically Keith Thurman. You can only compare Keith and Crawford. They're both undefeated. Compare their resumes to one another. Now, Postol, you know, he's the B-side, obviously, even though he was the WBC, you know, he was the B-side. So you got to compare him to Sean. he doesn't fucking stand up next to Sean's resume, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So all I'm saying is it would be unfair for someone to put a podcast that isn't on the level of us, and then we go up against them, and all of a sudden we're fucking pound for pound. Like, I wouldn't even be grateful of that status had the adversary not been on my level. Like, how do I take credit for that? Like, so you're saying like anybody who faces so Lemieux and fucking and Golovkin, then why are they not one of them, or Golovkin? Did he automatically get propelled into the pound for pound because he faced Lemieux, who was another title holder?
I'm not going to say into the pound for pound, but if you remember me talking before, I rated Lemieux probably the highest out of all of Golovkin's opponents. That's me personally. I know he's defensively weak, but I did rate Lemieux. With regard to what you're saying, sorry, go on, let's go.
I just want to ask the both of you, like, so, because I need to know. We always have these arguments. If you think good, right? Because people say, oh, Ness likes to argue. No, think about it good. Most of my debates are about this pound for pound forsaken list, because there's just no method to the madness. Just like every time a fight happens, pound for pound, everybody could get through. I just want some sort of criteria. How does one get in there? So now you're telling me if you're fighting the number 1 or the number 2 or another title holder in your division, you could automatically be pound for pound after you get the win?
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. It depends on what perspective you look at it. Like, we always talk about resumes. I think every show we talk about resumes. I obviously do take into account resumes, but I was impressed with Postol's win over Matisse. And even looking at Postol, don't use the ET word no more, but even looking at Postol, I rated him. I thought he was a good fighter. However, you do have a good point when you used your Sean Porter comparison. Postol obviously does not have the resume sort of like of a Sean Porter. So your point is, why is he rated so highly? Go. What did you think of Postol before? Sorry, James. Very quickly. What did you think of Postol before the fight, though, Nez? Because I don't actually think I remember asking you.
No, I mean, I was impressed with the Matisse win, just like everyone else. I never expected that. I'm pretty sure I picked Matisse to win. I'm not sure. I might have picked Postol's jab, just being like, trying to be fucking the wise guy. Probably not really picking him. But I want to ask James. So James, why isn't Wilder pound for pound? Again, I'm going to go to the guys they call me biased for and use them in my defense of this ridiculous argument that one person could beat someone in the division, and just because they're the number 1 or number 2 or a title holder, be automatically pound for pound. Wilder did that, right? Did he not?
Yeah, but I mean, the only problem is that in the division that I think that Terence Crawford is in, I don't want to make a case for Terence Crawford being pound for pound, because I just told you I have him on the outside looking in. Someone like Deontay Wilder, unfortunately, he just hasn't had the ability, or I guess the players, to show this. We're talking about heavyweight division that's very top heavy. You got the 3 title holders right now. You got Fury, you got Klitschko, you got Deontay Wilder, and then you got
Joshua.
Then Joshua, and then you also have Ortiz. So, but everyone else below that is kind of not so on the top level. So until he fights one of them, he's really not going to be able to prove himself onto the pound for pound. The pound for pound list should be there for someone's resume, is what they've done, not the eye test, not what I think you can do. It's what you have done. And unfortunately, Deontay Wilder hasn't done it because he hasn't been able to fight these other fighters. Does that mean that he can't be on it? That doesn't mean it at all. All it means is that he hasn't shown it to me yet. And then until that day, I'm not ready to put him on there. Terence Crawford, like I said, if you had him in the top or the last 3 of the division, I wouldn't argue it, because you could argue everything. You can argue your favorite fucking color. You can argue this shit. So, I guess that's where I'm getting to. That's why I think that someone like Deontay Wilder doesn't deserve to be on it, because he just hasn't shown. It's not eye test. It's who has he fought, and he hasn't shown me that he is ready to be in the pound for pound list opponent-wise.
But when you saw Deontay Wilder Hadouken Malik Scott, literally Hadouken, did that not knock him up there for you?
He went from a prospect to a contender. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it at that point. I mean, it was Malik Scott.
Exactly, because level of opponent matters.
Hadouken.
It's okay to say it, baby. Level of opponent matters. That's why. So, damn, I had a really good one for Wingy. Fuck, it was kind of the same little.
Yo, so then thinking on Deontay Wilder, is Deontay Wilder's win over Bermain Stervern better than Viktor Postol?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's a really good question.
I don't think so. I think Postol
I
don't
think so. No, I
think the win over Matisse is better over than because I mean Bermain Stervern had a win over 2 wins over Chris
Arreola. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what, James? If you go that way, you're right. Matisse was a more proven fighter than Arreola. So the Postol win is a better win than the Areola win, for sure. Yeah.
All I'm saying is I've never seen a man drop so convincingly in that Malik Scott fight, but carry on.
You know you're lying to yourself. I don't know what you're thinking, but
Areola was dropped pretty convincingly in that Stavern fight.
No, but all I want to say is I just don't want Postol. It's basically, I'm sort of defending both fighters. I don't want Crawford to be robbed of a good win over a very good opponent who most people were saying this is 50-50, if not, like 60-40. And these were the top two. I don't want that to be taken away. And also don't want it to be taken away from Postol. Even though Postol was saying some kind of things in the post-fight like, oh, I wanted to make the fight and Crawford didn't. Well, he did want to make the fight because he was lumping you in the face, son, twonking you all over the gaff. So obviously he did want to make the fight. So I wasn't too happy with Postol saying that. But I don't want Postol to be robbed of his skill as well. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to talk a little bit about the dog in Terence Crawford.
Yes,
no one mentioned it, but every time there was a clinch, this guy was a straight-up pit bull. His hands didn't stop moving. He kept taking little cheap shots. I mean, he really manhandled Postol. He was treating him like a little boy in the clinches, pushing him, shoving him. I mean, he took his heart for real. It was more than just boxing in there. Postol was frustrated. That counter right, it was just like, it wasn't even a counter. It was a fucking lead. It looked like, I don't even want to use the guy's name, but listen, this guy from the southpaw stance was looking crazy. The way he was looping that right hook around James, around that dumbass high European guard, was hilarious. I just wanted more people to be here while I was laughing at that because Postol, man, just following around like a mummy for no reason. I didn't understand it. With the great Freddie Roach in that corner, it was just sad to see Postol like that. I mean, for real.
Yo, and like the Postol's credit, I mean, he did look very fundamentally sound, but the more tired he got, the farther that lead hand started to drop, and that's when those right hands started coming up over the top. I mean, the real one, I guess the one weapon that Postol had come into this fight and during the fight was that jab, and Terence Crawford was able to negate that by just throwing those counter punches. So we could talk about this forever, but I couldn't be more high on the kid. I can't wait to see more from him. So.
James, so what to ask you? What was your feelings in that last round when you saw Crawford say, "Right, okay, I'm gonna step forward and walk into a fight"? What did you think of that? Do you think that was wise, silly, good?
Well, I like you could tell that Freddie Roach told Viktor Postol that he needs to go in there, win this round or knock him the hell out. And we've seen Terence Crawford be able to brawl. We've seen this before him in the past. Now we're seeing him at high level box, so we know he has he has the ability to do both. That's different than someone like Timothy Bradley. He has power too. So I think that Terence Crawford, if you bring him back, this is his Devin Alexander we just got with Viktor Postol. Now we're seeing him emerge as this complete fighter, and he can catapult. Even at 147, I think he gives issues to a lot of people. His only downfall is going to be he's a little bit smaller, but that didn't stop Tim Bradley from moving up and being successful. So,
all right, I got a great one for the both of you guys. Right? You just kind of perfect segue, right? You said 147. You still believe in him. You, me, and Wingy, we know he's getting the Pacquiao fight because of politics. He's in the right promoter. He's signed to the right promotional company. It's not necessarily because he's the best at 140 and just beat the other best at 140 and merits a super fight. That being said, are you excited to see him fight Manny Pacquiao because of those reasons? Or are you excited to see him fight Manny Pacquiao because you feel he'll make a damn good welterweight? And if it's the latter, which is make a damn good welterweight, well then, does he even make it to a Manny Pacquiao fight if you put him in there with Spence first?
James, you go. My brain has to think about these.
All right, the Spence thing's a little bit different story. I do believe that Spence needs to move forward a little bit more, I guess in terms of his career. But I am excited to see him against Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao is a small 147. If he fights him at 140, I wouldn't say that, now Manny Pacquiao's weight trained. I think that this fight is absolutely there. I think he's a natural 140 Pacquiao that is moving up to 147. So I don't think this is a mismatch at all. I think that's the fight I want to see. I'd rather Terence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao over anything because Pacquiao showed me in the Bradley fight that he still has a lot of fight left in him. And I still don't think that Tim Bradley's that bad. I think that Tim Bradley still is Tim Bradley, we just saw a different Manny Pacquiao in this fight. So with all that said, I still want to see it. It's very intriguing. And if you beat Manny Pacquiao, I'm not going to say he got old overnight, barring a complete meltdown in the ring. I think that, the Manny Pacquiao will catapult him to where he needs to be, and that's the exact reason why I think this was on pay-per-view. Because regardless of what you say, there's a lot of promotion with pay-per-view that you get that's different than HBO. You get more of those, like they throw it in on the YouTube channels because they're trying to promote this to get money back. Now they could say he's a pay-per-view star. They're going to gauge his ability to have some sort of popularity, and I think the Manny Pacquiao fight's there. So politics-wise and how excited I am, I think it makes sense on both edges, I guess both sides of the coin. I'm excited for it.
To answer...
Wait, but the question was, if would you still be excited if he had to go through Spence? Does he make it if he got to go through Spence first?
Yes.
Don't make me choose that because I'm big on Spence.
I'll choose
I don't think he beats Spence. Personally choosing, I don't think he beats Spence.
No, it's not personally choosing. It's just Spence is he's at Hell's Gate. To cross it, you got to get past him. You want Pacquiao is Spence first. I'm just asking. Because, we're all of a sudden throwing this guy in there with one of the best welterweights in our generation. And, again, we're going to have to pay for it. When I'm just saying to myself, is this an automatic loss for Terence Crawford and we're just giving away money? Like, could he even beat a Earl Spence? Let alone a Sean Porter. Let alone a Keith Thurman. Let alone whoever else is in that division.
Let me answer the question then. I think Errol Spence is very talented and I do rate him. However, I still think, even though obviously different weights, but I look at Spence almost in the same way as kind of Joshua, although Joshua's got a belt, as in they're both extremely talented guys and they look like they can get to the top, but they're both still that little bit green. That's the feeling that I've got. So I don't feel that Spence, I don't feel that Crawford at 147 would get through Spence. Now, Crawford himself actually said, I believe he's putting out, because I saw angry tweets from people today going, how dare Crawford make demands to Pacquiao? Apparently Crawford is saying that he's only going to fight Pacquiao at 140. With regards to that fight, one, I'd love to see that fight. I think that would be great for Crawford. I think it's actually a good stylistic fight. But two, I'd actually forgive Manny Pacquiao for all that salt water, excuse my language, and there's bullshit after the Floyd Mayweather fight, which he brought in the shoulder, all of that stuff which ruined a great fight, yeah? I'd actually forgive Pacquiao, because if Pacquiao comes back out of retirement and faces a young, I have to say the cliche, young, hungry lion like Crawford, that's massive respect. And that, to me, makes it a really good fight. I'd respect them both. So, yes, I think Crawford beats Spence.
Right now, though, I have Earl Spence on the same plane as I do Oscar Valdez. He's getting some seriously good wins. You're really taking notice, but at the same time, if he fought the number one in the division, you'd want to pump your brakes a little bit. If Nicholas Walters fought someone like Oscar Valdez, you'd pump your brakes. If someone like Keith Thurman fought Earl Spence, either way, you'd be, okay, that's a decent fight. That's really good. I want to see how this goes. He's not quite there yet. Right now, though, someone like Terence Crawford is, like, to me, coming off of, I wouldn't say Sean Porter win, but I'd say Keith Thurman coming out of the Robert Guerrero win. We know we have what we have. Now we know he's the truth. He just needs to continue to prove it. I think they're on different planes right now. I don't want Earl Spence to fight someone like Terence Crawford before he gets in there with Manny Pacquiao. I think Terence Crawford is on a higher level and he's at a higher degree, and he's ready to go straight into the Manny Pacquiao fight. He doesn't need to go through a 147 gatekeeper.
So you'd agree with me that Errol Spence is a bit green at the moment with regards to the Crawford fight?
Green in the sense that, yeah, there's always going to be questions until you're absolutely convinced me, period. So, like, Oscar Valdez went through Ganatovich or, Evgeny Granovich or whatever, and that was a really good win. This weekend, he looked really good. He looked very scintillating. But if I was to give you right now Nicholas Walters, could you tell me that Oscar Valdez would walk through Nicholas Walters? I don't think so. Same thing with Earl Spence and someone like Keith Thurman. He wouldn't walk through him. But, to me, Crawford walks through anybody at 147, and he walks up the list a lot to 140, or to, he walks through anyone at 140, and he walks up the list at 147. Pacquiao is there. He's there at 147 to come down. He's the only fighter at 147 that we know right now that can move down to 140 and not have an issue. That's why I think this fight's good.
Ness, how likely do you think the Pacquiao-Crawford fight is to happen? Just a general feeling you got speaking to Bob, and, what's your general feeling?
That shit is happening next, no doubt.
Yes!
I don't see why not. Where else do they go? I mean, for Terence, it's a win-win, win or lose. And for Manny, it's a win-win because it's a young, inexperienced guy. Like, yeah, we the hardcore see all the experience in Crawford, but still, I mean, it's Manny Pacquiao, right?
I still like Pacquiao. I fell out with him a bit, but I still like him. I'd respect. You'd have to give him respect if he come back and fought Crawford. You'd have to, no doubt.
Yo, but there's people out there right now saying that they wouldn't even mind a Jesse Vargas-Pacquiao fight had that been the last thing. I'd say that Terence Crawford would beat the shit out of someone like Jesse Vargas.
And that's cool, James. I think it's just me and probably a lot of other people like me have an issue with these type of fights. You know, the Brook Golovkins, the Crawford Pacquiaos. It's like when you skip entire divisions for super fights, it's like saying he's the blue chip. It's like, I think it was Kobe, right? Went straight out of high school into basketball.
But then if he brings him down to 140, he's not skipping an entire division, is he?
Well, no, that's different. That's different.
Yeah.
If Pacquiao really goes down, right? Because I'm just saying, you know, James said, oh, I'll pick him to beat everybody at 140. And that might be true. That might be true. But I still like boxing. I still want to see if they could do Broner. I want that. Crawford.
Yeah, I understand.
Crawford Broner, I would like that. I know that build-up would be crazy.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yo, so let me ask you then. Let me ask you, what would you rather? Him clean out the 140 and be solidified as the 140 champ, getting all the belts, or would you rather him have a win over Manny Pacquiao?
What?
What does better for his career? Him cleaning out 140, getting all the belts, and being unified? Because Danny Garcia, let's be real, it did well for him, but it's not like he's this huge mega star. Or do you move up and you fight someone like Manny Pacquiao and you beat him? Obviously, Pacquiao is more towards your career than cleaning out.
Of course, yeah, easily. I agree, easily.
James, come on.
No, it is. It's easily more for the career, though, isn't it? Pacquiao win.
Of course, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't you think it's a bit unfair that a guy like Earl Spence, who's putting on his hard hat, he's going to work, he's beating up the guys he's got to be up to go up the rankings, and then a kid, comes out of nowhere.
But you're not playing politics, though. You know the politics are involved. Al Heyman will not work with that side of the fence.
All right, but it doesn't have to be Earl. It could be Jesse. Jesse's been putting on his fucking hard hat and going to work. And he stopped somebody, and he got the belt, and now he's going to get trumped. It ain't about PBC, man. You guys are fucking too short-minded. It's about somebody standing there all day fucking doing 6 miles, punching the bag, and then a guy, because Bob said so? Because it makes better sense.
It's not Bob said so. It's because those other brothers are not the illest black brothers in Nebraska.
Yo, but it does make complete sense, though, that someone like Terence Crawford is more willing, or I guess to me more deserving, because he's more proven than someone like Jesse Vargas. Before the Saddam Ali fight, he lost to Tim Bradley, and there was plenty of hiccups along the way. Yes, he is. Because
is he more proven than Kell Brook? Or
you know Kell Brook's locked up. Why are you bringing him up all of a sudden? Now what? Kell Brook's going to come down and not fight Triple G because he's going to fight someone?
I'm only ringing off 147-pound names. You could pick them yourself. Go to boxing.
On that side of the fence, I would rather Crawford than Vargas. I would rather Crawford than Saddam Ali. Who else is at 147?
But
in all honesty, the top rank side.
You keep making the argument about the word rather, man. I'm saying I need to learn. I need to learn how to accept that people get trumped just based off nothing.
It happens based on merit.
In all honesty, these are big boys, Nez, right? I'm not sitting here crying for them. These are big boys. If they'd have gotten themselves into the position that Terence Crawford was in by displaying good dominant wins, good dominant skills, maybe they'd be facing Pacquiao. They're not. They're going to deal with it. There's other fighters out there. I'm not going to sit weeping for them. Terence Crawford's going to go in there, and he's going to get it. The other guys can wait, because that's how boxing works, unfortunately. Errol Spence had the chance to fight Gelbrich. He didn't want to take it. So, yeah, let's move on.
And you talk about, hold on, you talk about Kobe Bryant being drafted straight from high school. Right now what we have is that we have Terence Crawford, a freshman, being drafted maybe the number one pick, although the other cat, Jesse Vargas, has been in college for 4 years, almost equally as good. Doesn't make him a better draft pick if you want to use that comparison. To me, Crawford is the better prospect. He's the better idea for Manny Pacquiao than anyone at 147 that's feasibly feasibly available to fight someone like Manny Pacquiao.
How could he be the better idea and he's done nothing at 47?
Because he beat Viktor Postol convincingly. Don't knock this win. Don't knock this win. What did Jesse Vargas do? Jesse Vargas beat someone that we had questions on. Okay. Look at what Jose Benavidez. Everyone talks shit about Jose Benavidez, and he just went in there and did a better job on Francisco Santana than Chia Santana than what Saddam Ali did. So if you're going to say shit, you just talk about that. But what I'm saying is that Crawford has done more than anyone available at 147. I guess his win over Viktor Postol is better than any win that someone can face on the top-ranked side for Manny Pacquiao.
James, who does Postol beat at 147? Does he even fucking beat Saddam Ali?
Okay, so yo, Ruslan Provodnikov was at 140 for the longest time, and he did what he did to Tim Bradley, but I don't think he beats anyone at 147. That's not fair to say who he beat at 147.
147, did he?
Because it wasn't at 147. We're talking about a fight at 140. So don't talk to me about who Viktor Postol could beat at 147 because he's at 140 right now. Could he beat someone like Lamont Peterson? I think so. Can he beat Jose Benavidez? I think so. Can he beat someone like Felix Diaz? I think so.
Yes, I agree. I think he beats Broner. I think he beats Broner as well.
I think he beats Broner. There you go. 147 is the deepest division in boxing. That's so hard to compare.
Yeah.
Saying he can't move up and do that.
Broner's at 140.
Come on, yo. He's talking about what? Yo, you want to talk about 147 with Manny Pacquiao? Do you think that fight would be at 140 between him? No, it'd be 147. You know it would be.
Fine, that's fine. But don't say, "Oh, come on," like I'm trying to, give you less names for Postol to beat when I clearly said I still want to see Crawford Broner. What weight would that be at? Genius. One guy's
45. You know that would be a catch weight. Come on, if Porter and this, you think that Broner would come down to 140?
Broner, wasn't he a champion at 140 just now after Theopan?
Yeah.
All right. He didn't make an official move to 47?
How's Matisse's orbital bone, Ness?
Who the fuck knows? Ask Postol.
That's what I'm saying. He's a beast.
That's gonna be Postol's. That's his glory moment right there. He's gonna be telling his grandkids about that on the porch. So look, he's good. He's gonna ride off into the sunset with this one. It is what it is. No more puppet in the ring. Let's open up these phone lines, man. We got a bunch of people here too. Up first was Ant Taino. Talk to us, brother.
Man, what's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's up?
Man, I just wanted to break it down, man. Postol, I really feel like he was listening to Freddie saying, go for the big, big knockout, big power punch, because I understand that Terence was doing a great job of pairing his jab and nullifying his offense, but it just seems like he was just over aggressive. He's looking for one big shot, and I just didn't understand it because I had him winning the first 3 rounds. Even though it was tied with 6-6 in the first, I had him blowing out the first 3, and then Terence Crawford progressively just took over the fight. To me, after the 4th round, it was all Terence Crawford. Like, I only gave 3 rounds to Postol. And in the 5th round, when he got knocked down twice, I'm like, oh, shit, it's over. So you take those 2 rounds off. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, basically 1 round. And he landed less than 100 power punches. Like, you're not going to win a fight landing less than 100 power punches unless you're Mayweather or some shit. Like, I just didn't understand how the game plan was that messed up because he was in the southpaw stance. They claim that they worked on all those different angles and stuff, right? How come he didn't throw any overhand rights the whole entire, I'll say, up until the 7th round? He started to throw overhand right. It was too late by then. Terence had his rhythm down. Control is everything. If you guys noticed, every time Postol tried to land something significant, and Terence would grab the back of his neck. That's a defensive move. A lot of people don't understand. It nullifies the offense of the opponent. They sit there and they go, oh my God, I can't do anything because your neck is frozen, so you can't effectively throw any punches. And then he would turn, and then every time they would clinch, Postol was the first one who was getting rough and being kind of dirty. He was trying to hit him in the back of the head, side of the head, going crazy. And then Terence said, oh, okay, I'm gonna fuck that. I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna do the same thing, rough you up a little bit. And I think Postol just didn't see that coming. He thought he was just gonna quote unquote run the whole time. And he sat there and counterpunched a couple times, and every time he did sit there and counterpunch, he landed that straight left hand. So I don't see where people keep saying that he just ran the whole fight. If he ran the whole fight, he wouldn't have knocked him down.
I agree 100%.
But I just wanted to ask you guys, do you truly think that Pacquiao was too fast for Crawford? Because everybody keeps saying Pacquiao's speed is still amazing, even at this age, even at this stage of his career. They feel that the speed will be too much for it's something that Crawford's never seen before. And do you guys think that Crawford's just too inexperienced for somebody like Pacquiao, the angles and the turning? And so what do you guys think about that?
It's not for me. It's not so much his speed. Obviously, Pacquiao's got speed, but it's also Pacquiao has kind of developed in the later stages of his career into using boxing, a little bit more, as we saw against in the Bradley fight. So I think it's interesting. I leaned to Pacquiao before this fight. I don't know where I'd go. But for me, it's not just Pacquiao's speed. It's that he's actually boxing more, I believe, making up for deficiencies in the speed as he gets older. Nes?
You know, I wrestled. I even text you about it. And it was good to see Sean Zattel out there in Vegas. Doing a great job. And he did an interview with Bermain Stavern. And Bermain, when asked about Crawford, he said, "Sweet pea." And it reminded me that I had sent you that text, like, is Crawford this generation's Pernell Whitaker? And you thought, and others said, yo, people ain't going to know who's Pernell, which is just really us showing our age, Wingy.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
That being said, a guy like Bermain Stavern did know and brought him up, referenced him himself, which is huge accolades for Crawford, man. I am impressed, even though it doesn't sound that way, because I'm just really defensive with this whole pound for pound thing. I don't want it to get carried away. You know what I mean? You got guys just putting anybody in there for any reasons. So I don't want, anything in the tone of my voice to be misconstrued as me not appreciating what it is that I saw in Terence Crawford. He looked amazing and he did a great job. But it's something that I thought he would do. I didn't think that Postol was on his level. And I guess I'm not as overly excited as the rest of the world, especially not excited enough to mention pound for pound. I am still excited to see him with whoever is left in that division that's, credible, whether that be name or skill. And if the Pacquiao fight happens, then, I'm interested in that as well. I mean, what else are we going to do? I didn't think I would buy this one, and I sure as hell bought it. And I didn't do it on the internet. I still bought it on cable. But I'm going to go back out to these phone lines. We got a bunch of people here. Let me see. Scorsese, talk to me. Yeah, as long as you're talking to the mic.
Yeah, I'm in the mic. Man, Crawford is pound for pound, man. I'm gonna just go through this list I asked Fahim for, man, and I'm gonna tell y'all the names that he said on here. Let me look real quick. Ward, Rigondeaux, Lomo, X already. Andre, X already. Bradley, X already. Like, Crawford's on the damn list, man. Like, the 2-division unified champion. First person to knock out Gamboa. Went over there to Ricky Burns' home turf, took his title. First person to beat Postol. Postol broke a fucking face like he was Rigondeaux or something. Like, y'all, how y'all writing this off? Postol was supposed to be this guy, man. He's good. Like, I ain't gonna sit up here and overrate a point. I've never really been a huge Crawford fan. I respect him, but never been a huge fan. Postol could have easily got on the back foot and made it much harder, but Crawford mind fucked him before he ever beat him up physically. He had Postol trying to take the center of the ring, and instead of boxing and using his, turning on angles like he was doing with Matisse. He should have had Crawford chasing him. Crawford literally outsmarted. He did everything. He beat him in every way he could beat him, mentally and physically. So yeah, this man is a pound for pound champion. Postol. Y'all sitting there telling like you said he ain't got a good. I think you said Porter resume shit on. Porter gotta win those fights, not be in them. His best win is Broner. Postol beat Broner. He would. So I don't know why people pulling his win apart and saying throwing the pound for pound and just messing around, not putting him on there. It ain't that many people in the sport that you can really throw on there. He's in there. He's in the middle somewhere, if not in the top part. But a fight at 140, he could fight another 2-division champion just like himself. He could fight Rances Bartholomew. I'd rather see that fight than the Pacquiao fight. I don't want Pacquiao pulling this man up to 40 when he gonna leave 2 titles vacant. 47 when he gonna leave 2 titles vacant at 40. I don't want that to happen. If Pacquiao not fighting him at 40, I hope they don't fight at all.
Yo, but couldn't they do what they did with Chad Dawson, where Chad Dawson came down a little bit and still fought for the super middleweight like he did with Andre Ward? Why would he have to vacate?
Yeah, I mean, they could also do what they're doing with Brooke, right? Give you the super fight, let you keep your belt just so we could get that sanctioning money. Listen, hey, Scorsese, I'm not even going to go back and forth because there's a lot of callers, you know. But did you pick Crawford before you go? Because we do have to hand out Crow.
I called in singing, told you he was gonna whoop
Yeah,
Postol.
well, I mean, you know, Enrique's not here. He got the list. I'm just double checking, buddy. Just double checking. Let me see what else we got. We got Fahim. I think is I don't know. Is he just listening today or what, Fah?
Nah, I'm in here. You know what I'm saying? I want to just say I defend my list. You know what I mean? It's my pound for pound list, and you know, and Crawford's not on it. You know, not yet. He hasn't shown me enough. You know, y'all. Really, what happened when you played Devil's Advocate last? Was that Thursday? You really convinced me that that his resume really not all that. You know, I was really big on him. But you know, to get to the fight or whatever, you know, he won that fight with some excellent footwork, and I watched that fight twice, and just from a basic fundamental perspective. He always kept his lead foot. When he switched to southpaw, he never allowed Postol to get his lead foot on the outside of his lead foot. So even when Postol was able to come in to do some damage, he couldn't do it because he was out of position because of the footwork. And I was just very impressed with that.
What was your feelings? Sorry, yeah, I'm just going to ask you, what was your feelings on the way Postol was unable to cut the ring off? Would you put that down to Postol feeling Crawford's power early and then being reluctant, or would you say it's just purely down to Crawford's movement?
I really blame Freddie Roach. I'm like, you're supposed to be this multi-year trainer of the year, and that's something fundamental. I'm like, how wasn't you for that?
Yo, is he breaking up for anyone else?
Yeah, we're losing him a bit there, yeah.
Fire, you going in and out, baby. Redo that connection. We're gonna go with another caller until you get it all together there.
With the blood of a Scottish warrior coursing through his veins, this man proclaimed,
I fucking love boxing.
I fucking love boxing.
What's happening? Fucking love boxing. What's happening?
What's going on, dude?
Wingy,
what's up?
Wingy, what's happening? James?
What's up, brother? You good?
I'm fucking good. You guys can call me the Scottish Yoda. I predict these things. You just need to listen to my call last time. I fucking predicted that.
I will back you up on that because you was very confident. You said Postol's not going to have a hope. It's going to be a complete whitewash. I do specifically remember you saying that, yeah.
Exactly. Listen, you can just call me Mystic Chew because I predict these things, man. Listen, I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much, you know. On Twitter, I said last week that Postol boxes with a budget and Crawford boxes like he's got a blank check. You know, it's just a different it's just a different way. Crawford just cashes what he needs to win. You know, he's economical with it. You know, Crawford came to the ring to DMX, but Postol was the only one who was getting cracked on Saturday. You know, I've got more and I'm going to keep them coming, you know, because I didn't know that Crawford had a firearms license. He concealed and he carried Postol. So the fifth. Oh, Jesus.
Yo, he's coming out. Yo, MV2, you're coming out with your one-liners like you got him written on paper.
He's got bars tonight, man. He's got lyrics.
Bars, you know, I'm going to keep going. No, I'm not. Anyway,
sound like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to keep going. No, I'm not.
It was like, this is not one. It was like geometry in there, you know, like straight lines against circles, you know. All Crawford was doing was just circling them. And, you know, like the last caller was saying, you know, he's disappointed in Freddie Roach. So am I. I'm really disappointed in Freddie Roach, you know, because, you know, Freddie Roach is meant to be an all-time great trainer, but, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, like how many African-American black fighters has Freddie Roach trained? He just doesn't like that style. He doesn't like to face it. He doesn't like to clean it. I know he had James Toney, by the way.
Yeah, I was just James Toney, yeah.
But but James Toney was James Toney before Freddie Roach got him. You know, you're not gonna go to Picasso and take the paintbrush away and give him a pencil. You know, he's gonna leave that alone and ride that out, ride that success that he got with James. You know, I just think that Freddie Roach is. You look back at the bodies he's worked. Unfortunately, he's overrated. You know, Postol was doing some. For the reputation he has of being a great boxer, he was doing some like really fucking basic stuff. He couldn't see fucking Crawford's right hook because his left hand was right in front of his own face. Like he was blocking his video. It was almost as, I'm not going to say this about any professional boxer, but it's almost as if he was scared of what was coming.
Look, right, listen, right, do you know what? I was so surprised by his lack of ability to cut the ring off that I think, going on what you just said then, I agree with it. I think he tasted that power early in those shots. Was it like the first round or whatever? It was really early where he caught him. And after that, I think he was reluctant. I don't know what you think, man. Chew.
Yo, but Wingy, let me jump in real quick, because now you're saying that it seemed like Postol was reluctant to throw punches and he was hesitant because he was nervous of the punches. How can that be Freddie Roach's fault? What's Freddie Roach going to say? Get in there and get your face punched and stop being a pussy?
But
of course. It's a fighter. Yo, I don't think this is a loss for Freddie Roach. I think this is a loss for Viktor Postol. It was him who was in there. Of course, Freddie Roach is going to be like, use your jab, establish it on the outside, stop just following him in the ring. You cut him off in the ring and throw your right hand a little bit more. Throw some more hooks. I'm sure he was telling him. Unfortunately, it was Viktor Postol who had all the damage. He was the one that was getting messed up in there. So it's easy to tell a fighter what he needs to do. It's hard for the fighter to do what he needs to do. I don't think this is a Freddie Roach loss. I don't think we should even bring him up. This was Viktor Postol who he just didn't have that extra ability to take it over the top to even make this competitive.
Yeah, I wasn't blaming Roach. I was just sort of saying, go on, Che.
The UK. I'm going to say the UK was blaming Freddie Roach. Both of you were. You're both guilty.
Just got told off by James, man. Damn. It's like teaching, brother.
Yeah. And class is in session. And class was in session. That was a schooling.
And now you're in detention, bro. You're in detention now.
So's Postol. He's probably still there. And the thing
he's writing on the chalkboard, I will throw my jab 100 times. I will throw my jab 100 times.
It was like it was really some elementary stuff that he was doing. I know it's easy after the fact to criticise a guy, but I'm not going to be any much longer, guys. I just wanted to say that Crawford's right hook is probably the best from the southpaw position. It's probably the best punch in boxing right now. You know, the effect that it has on people, man. You know, he called himself the Iceman, but you know, it doesn't mean it needs to freeze, but. That's the last one-liner, but that's almost the effect every time it was landing. It was just making him confused, and it's almost as if he had never fought a southpaw before. But that's how good he is.
Just before you go, Chew, did you shed a tear about the Jim Watt news retiring?
Nah, fuck Jim Watt, man.
How can you say that? He's your fellow brother, isn't he?
Jim Watt's shot to pieces. He's if you get American callers don't know, Jim Watt, obviously Scottish commentator for Sky. I know he's quite an infamous guy, but Jim Watt is over.
Bang on the chin.
Bang on the chin. He's like George Foreman back in the day. George Foreman used to talk shit, but you felt like it was a big fight when George Foreman was on the broadcast just because he had that voice. Jim Watt's got that voice that you'll miss, that dramatic voice, but at the end of the day, his scorecards were fucking terrible.
Sorry, Nez, had to hijack it. Right, back to you.
No, it's all good. Hey, True, man, thanks for calling in. You know, we appreciate it. Let's see. We got Alex. Talk to us. Alex. Alex.
You there?
We're here.
Can you hear me? What's going on, boys?
What's up, brother?
I got to eat some crow for that Postal pick, me and Casual's coin. Yeah, well, that was just complete domination by Crawford. Dead set. It was just great movement the whole way through, I think. And Postal didn't really look like he should have been in there with him, to be honest. And a quick question for James, though. But if you don't go off the eye test for the pound-for-pound list, would you put Rigondeaux, Golovkin in your list?
Golovkin, I would put him at the lower end of it because I think enough of his wins have kind of accumulated to be pound-for-pound-esque. And, the Rigondeaux one will kind of stump me a little bit, but I still think that the Nonito Donaire win was really big, especially at the time. But I won't even argue. I see where you got me into a trap. I will say that for the eye test, I do think that Rigondeaux is absolutely in the top 10. But he's an exception because I think he's an extraordinary fighter. I think he's better than Crawford is. I think he could dominate more. But I see the trap you're getting with, and your point is well taken.
Right. Well, yeah. Basically, man, I think Crawford deserves to be in the top 10. I don't think top 5, man. I think, there's Kovalev, Ward, Pac-Man, Rigondeaux. There's a few others that should be put before him, but he's definitely in the top 10 now. But as well, I have to ask the question as well, was Postol as good as we thought he was? I mean, those odds were 5-1 for a reason, I guess. Now, he was just completely dominated, really. Like, I thought he'd put up more of a fight. He barely threw a punch almost, Like, it was pretty crap on that end, I reckon.
So let me ask you then, hindsight, do you think that the Matisse win was more Matisse not being Matisse, or is that just that we saw Viktor Postol being great in that fight? Are you souring on Matisse, or do you think that Viktor Postol is the truth?
Well, initially, funny enough, I was always thinking, was Matisse that good of a fighter? I mean, he's good, but is he really top quality? I always had that question in my mind. I guess it's kind of answered now as they're good, but they're like B+. They're not at that top caliber like Crawford, and all the rest of Ward and all that. You gotta put Crawford up there skills wise, man. That bloke's, and it's like the way he fights so ambidextrous, like he can fight both ways and still put you down. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's my call.
Well, all right, Alex, man, thanks for calling in. We appreciate that. Let me see. We got our first crow of the day. Enrique is not around, making things worse. Now we're going to get out to these streets. 908, I believe this is Amin. Talk to me.
Yeah, what's going on? It's Amin.
What up? Why you sound so down? You picked Postol?
Nah, you crazy as hell. I didn't pick no Postol, man. I picked Crawford. Y'all can run that show back.
Oh, no, you sound a little depressed.
I was just... What's up?
You sound a little depressed. I didn't know whether or not it was because you had to get this crow.
Nah, I don't do too much crow, man. I'm lean. My diet is lean. But, I guess because I was in thought, I was actually talking. I was saying, I'm not certain if, to me, Danny and Crawford, or, Crawford and Broner, like, it's so many other fights that's good. If you want to say between 140 and 147 before you get right to Pacquiao and Crawford. To me, and that's kind of the point I was making, about, sometimes we mix up the business of it, but it ain't about what side of the street. Let's just pick the fight, and we'll see if they can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? We may or may not be able to influence it, probably not, but, like, Crawford and Broner is a better fight. Garcia and Crawford is a good fight. Scorsese said Bartholomew is a good fight. It's a whole bunch of other fights. Like, that's what would make it seem like there's an issue with either Pacquiao being allowed to juice with impunity, allegedly, or just, Bob Arum just want to bring him in and out to teach him a lesson, because I just don't see the logic behind the man retiring, coming back. You want to fight, whoever on the 5th, and then you just don't really understand, like, when you got a cat like Terence Crawford, give him some other fights before you throw him to Pacquiao, unless it seems like Bob Arum wants Pacquiao to beat Crawford. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how he does it. Then you want to make it another issue and then say, is that how Bob Arum does black fighters? Every time he gets a black fighter that come up a little bit, throw him to Pacquiao. So, it creates a lot of issues. So when you say, was I sitting here depressed, I was in deep thought, because I get this boxing thing and I understand the skills and the technique and the training, but there's so many layers to it that it get mixed up in what we do as far as the show and our opinions, but, we still got to speak on it, without being too distracted.
See, I think this is the exact opposite. I don't think that this is Terence Crawford being fed up to Manny Pacquiao. I see this seeing that Bob Arum knows that Manny Pacquiao only has 1 or 2 fights left, and we already know that he's losing money on every pay-per-view he does with someone like Manny Pacquiao. I think he's giving Crawford to him because I think he thinks that Crawford is the truth. Should Crawford go in there and beat Manny Pacquiao, you got yourself a new pay-per-view star. Should someone like Manny Pacquiao beat Crawford, Crawford's going to be stuck in exile for a while. So to me, I see Crawford being who Bob Arum wants to beat him. I think this is different than the Tim Bradley situation. This was kind of like, oh, if Tim Bradley wins, damn, we got a new pay-per-view star. I think it's time for, and Bob Arum knows it, for Manny Pacquiao to move on out of the way, and I think he thinks Crawford is the man to do it. Like I said, he has more personality than Tim Bradley and slightly more skill. If Tim Bradley had his, like, Tim Bradley would be way more popular if he was someone like Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford is what you need to be. You don't need to be confident. You just need to be confident inside the ring, or cocky. So I don't see this being a negative thing of Bob Arum trying to serve up another black fighter. I see this, Crawford is the truth, that I see him trying to dethrone someone like Manny Pacquiao while Pacquiao's still fighting.
That is interesting you say about his personality, because I always get the perception that I always see people saying Crawford doesn't have a personality, doesn't interview well. But I think the last few fights we're starting to see the needle come out. That Derry Jean fight, that's where I first saw Crawford getting nasty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also think about the way that Crawford knocked out Hank Lundy. He's like sticking his tongue out in his face, knocking him around the ring. Tim Bradley never had those antics inside the ring. Someone like Terence Crawford has the personality outside the ring where you feel for him, and inside the ring, he has that Adrian Broder confidence or the Deontay Wilder confidence where he'll mess with you, and that's exciting to watch.
James, did you guys even notice he didn't even touch gloves? Neither one of them. Like
in the beginning of the fight, yep, I saw that.
And Tony Weeks let it go. In the UK, that's not possible, really, from what I can remember.
Yo, these are the two. They're the two in the ring. If they don't want to touch gloves, don't make them touch gloves. I hate that shit. Yo, if they want to jaw at each other, talk shit, let them do it. Whatever.
I had a few people over. Castle Hill Gill, who calls into the show, he came by. Paul Yearwood, a couple others, and it'd been the first time we've ever seen that. All of us, like, we was like, oh shit, did you see that? Like, they didn't really touch gloves, and the rest didn't make them. So then we were alert towards the end of the fight to see would Crawford or Postol communicating some manner, and they did. So it was all love at the end, you know. But if you remember the Hank Lundy knockout, before the ref, you know, got the chance to even tell Crawford to go across, he was already over the ref's shoulder, like,
he got up in his face, yeah.
talking shit, like, didn't I tell you I knocked that ass out? So you know, I like Crawford for that. You know, he's always gonna be like, he wants. I mean, you've seen the damage he put on. He dropped, how many times he dropped Postol? 3 or 4?
Twice.
It
was
twice. Yeah, twice.
He buckled his knee and then he touched his hand to the canvas once.
No, the one where Postol like looked at him and then started leaning forward
and then flopped forward. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Just went for a jive. All I can hear was like the point, like, I just felt like running.
Yo, it was like, he started leaning over. He's like, am I being jumped right now? Oh, I'm not.
Just before you go to the next caller, chat, hit that like button, motherfuckers. It's my payday today. Get it over 250, and I'll buy another one of you motherfuckers t-shirt.
Yo, you know that Batman Boxing never gave me an address.
No, because I've got it. I'm gonna sort it out today. I just have to wait till my payday next.
Okay. I mean, you all done?
Oh, one last point. If just to James, you know what I mean, you must be more of an optimist than me, because ask Andre Ward and Mayweather and you know, about that whole being served up, because I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's the optimistic perspective. But, you know, it usually don't flow like that.
I actually... No, but the problem... Hold on, real quick. Let me rebuttal. The problem with Andre Ward and Mayweather is both of them went out of their contract. Of course, if you hate me and you don't want to be in my contract, I'm going to try to do what I can do. I don't think that Andre Ward was served up, and nor do I think that Mayweather was served up. But I understand the position you're coming from. I just don't think that Crawford is in that position.
No, James, I totally agree with you on that one, because I feel like Bob Arum already knows Crawford is that guy that can actually take the torch, where you wanted to try and do that with Bradley based on accolades and resume and things of that nature, but the fan base just wasn't there. There was 7,000 people. Now, one would say, oh, that's only 7,000. You know, other people do more. Gennady does 20 and 12 and things like that, right? But, again, 7,000 is a lot more than Timothy Bradley's 2,000.
Yeah, Crawford's got that hometown support, hasn't he?
It sure seemed that way. Let's jump out back to these phone lines here. We got 415. You're live. Who's this?
What's up, y'all? It's Larry in California.
Larry, what's up, man?
Larry, what up?
Once again, the Boxing Voice. Appreciate the shows. And big ups to Wingy. So not only staying up late to watch the fight from England, but then getting on YouTube and doing another post-fight show at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You go, boy.
I got it. I got you guys, man. And I'm giving you a t-shirt, man. I got you guys.
Heard heard that. A couple things. First of all, the fight last night. No question, it was a spectacular performance by Terence Crawford, adding yet another element to his game, bringing the type of lateral movement we had not seen from him. In the earlier fights, he would stand right in front of you and beat the brakes off you. But this time, he decided to dance and go side to side and beat the brakes off you. All of y'all, not y'all necessarily, but anybody saying that Postol wasn't that good, y'all need to quit with that. Yes, he is. He was simply outclassed, and the speed was way too much for him to overcome. He couldn't find Crawford. And thus, when you can't find him, of course, you can't hit him. And that's why Terence made him look how he made him look.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I'd pretty much agree with that, man. What did you think about Postol's performance overall? Do you think it was just too much movement from Crawford? Why he looked kind of a little bit almost flat in there?
Yeah, I thought it was way too much movement, but two, Postol was exposed a bit. He doesn't have. He's kind of a two-trick pony. It's to set you up with the jab and then land the straight right hand. And when you can't work off the jab, you look like he looked last night. He was exposed for not having a left hook, nothing to keep Crawford off balance or off of him. And I was surprised by how much stronger Crawford was. I went in expecting Postol to be the stronger fighter, but it became evident quickly on those first few tie-ups that Crawford not only was faster, not only countered more sharply and more strongly, but was a stronger fighter as well. So overall, I definitely was entertained. I would have rather not have spent the $59.99, but still, I'm glad I did it and had a good time with that fight.
Now, looking forward, do you think that do you think that this win was enough for you to want to see a Manny Pacquiao fight, or do you think he needs to do a little bit more?
No, I'm a fan of both, so I could have seen that even before the fight. But for sure, I want to see it. But just real quick to address the caller beforehand. Yeah, man, I'd love to see Broner and Danny and Danny get in that too, but they don't want it. Boxing would be a whole lot better if we could get a Broner and Crawford first and a Pacquiao and Danny first, then have the winners meet. But that's the Heyman, Garcia, and Broner effect working against us right there. But since we can't get that, yeah, bring on the Pacquiao Crawford next. I'm not sure who I like in that. That's Crawford being the younger fighter. I may have to tip him, but yeah, bring that on. I got my money ready right now.
All right, Larry. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. We're going to get to some other callers here. Still no producer. He's riding a little bit late behind schedule, 773. I want to say it's either Fight Doctor. Actually, I got to get to someone else. Damn, almost forgot you again. It's our good friend from SiriusXM, or is it Sirius, James? How do you even pronounce that? I'm so bad at this stuff.
It's serious, bro. Serious. Serious, yeah. Like, why are you so serious?
Like, Seriously Serious is the name of the radio show, right?
Seriously, nice.
You know, I'm sure he picked Terence Crawford because he had to. Because there was there was some sort of basketball game that he had where he got his ass whooped. So I'm pretty sure Crawford made him pick him.
That's funny.
I mean, I seen the highlights. I seen the highlights, and I seen him.
You got me on the line or what?
You were on the line, but I mean, we seen him hitting you with a bunch of threes from far away.
First, you guys didn't watch the whole video because he barely beat me. First of all, just to address that quickly, the score was 15-11. He beat me by 4 points, and only because I'm completely out of shape. The man is a world-class athlete, so he's obviously not going to get tired in a little one-on-one basketball game. But, I mean, I was shooting jump shots the whole game. We actually have a rematch set up. I told him after he whips Postol's ass, we're going to get back at it. So next time he's in New York, we're going to post that on online or something, Facebook or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, look, Crawford, I'm not surprised. What he impressed me with most was his power. I mean, he's obviously been showing lately that he has power, but it wasn't even the knockdowns that showed his power. There were so many times in that fight where he connected shots and hurt Postol. Almost every time he connected a flush shot, he hurt the guy. Whether he stumbled or whether he froze for a second, this kid Bud has pop, and I honestly think he can carry that power up to 147. Pacquiao, honestly, I don't even care to see Pacquiao fight again. I'm being totally honest. I mean, I know that fight it will be a good fight. I'm not sure if Bob Arum has that mindset of Crawford being able to beat Pacquiao there. I think I'm not sure if he's completely sure about that. If I was Bob, I don't think I will put the next coming, the guy that's gonna carry his company. I don't think Bob has anybody else like the gentleman that were talking earlier about Crawford's personality in the ring. That is what the fans totally agree with that. That is what outside the ring he doesn't have much personality, but in the ring he does, and that's what counts for pay-per-view sales and things of that nature.
Do you have him anywhere on a pound for pound list at all, Crawford? And has he gone up as a result of the Postol win?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, some people are saying he shouldn't be on the list. That's a no-brainer, though. I mean, when you're comparing what's out today, he's definitely on that top 10 list. I mean, I would say somewhere in the middle, for sure.
Damn. Okay.
One of you guys don't have him on the list.
But
I didn't listen before I called up.
It's Nez. Nez has got the issue with the pound for pound.
I mean, I certainly have an issue with, especially with you saying he's somewhere in the middle. Middle would put him at number 5. I could think of 5 guys to bump him out.
6, 7, 5. I mean, I'm not putting him in no particular order. I'm just saying he's definitely a top 10 fighter in the world. I mean, how many? Tell me 10 fighters that you would put before him.
I never went into 10 because what I'm seeing online is Terrence's top 5 pound for pound. So that right there, I had an issue with that. Like, I had an issue with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to put him number 5 when you got the Kovalev's awards. Look, Rigondeaux, as much as I love Rigo, and I think he's actually probably one of the most skilled fighters in boxing, along with Lomachenko and those guys. But I mean, his only win is Nonito Dornier. His only big win, and I'm a big, Rigo fan in terms of that technical side of boxing. I spent some time with him in Miami. He's a great guy. I love the guy. But I'm not putting him up against, putting him in front of so many guys out there because of his skill. Because when it comes to pound for pound, there are a few things that play a part. Not only skill, obviously big wins, big opponents, accolades, titles. Skill plays a part as well. But a lot of people are putting Rigo up there based off of just skill and his amateur background. He has one big win, fellas.
So let me ask you, you brought up, you don't want to see the Manny Pacquiao win because you don't want to see him fight anymore, or the Manny Pacquiao fight. What in the last fight with Tim Bradley? Was it the fight itself that you don't want to see anymore, or you just tired of the Manny Pacquiao era? Because I thought he looked great in his last fight. So
I think I'm Manny Pacquiao out. I think the era is, doesn't excite me no more, him in the ring. But that fight would actually be a good fight. I couldn't even pick a winner for that right now. But what makes Crawford such a great fight, and to answer a few people online were saying that Postol, basically he exposed Postol, showing that he wasn't that good, and I totally disagree with that. I mean, there are just levels in this game, and there are certain fighters that are good, certain fighters that are great, certain fighters are special. Crawford has that specialness in him where it's not only skill, it's athleticism, reflexes, raw talent, because he has somewhat of an orthodox style. I mean, certain punches come from certain angles, and he's like almost like an explosive basketball player where off of a bounce, he could slingshot a quick left hand that nobody's expecting it, because, when guys are bouncing, most guys have to set in their position to really get a good shot off, and those shots come with power. So he's a special kind of guy. It'll be a big test against Manny Pacquiao, though.
Cool.
What do you think this fight means for him?
That's my take. What was that?
What exactly does this fight mean for him, for you? Because, I mean, I'm hearing you talk about pound for pound and, fights with Pacquiao or people better than that. What about this Postol win signifies so much for you?
Well, I'm not saying he had, he has a great resume. I'm just saying he's a good fighter. He's just he's just a good fighter. I'm not saying he's great. Look, and people are saying that Matisse wasn't great, so that win wasn't big. I mean, how long will people go down, using that term?
I agree.
If a guy loses, he's not that good. I mean, great guys lose. Matisse
I agree, yeah.
outboxed that day, and Postol showed he was a good fighter. But obviously, he's not on the level of Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? But as far as pound for pound, let's have to really look into that to where I will put Terence, man. But he definitely in my top 10. And I think that he should. I prefer him going up to 147 soon, or maybe meeting these guys. I'm not a guy that's against catch weights like mainstream America in regards to boxing fans. People are so against it. I'm all the way for it. Whatever can make the fight happen. But yeah, obviously Broner's, the Garcias, the Kell Brooks. I mean, I would love to see Terence Crawford, Kell Brook. I mean, if he's still alive after this fight against Gennady. But I mean, there's so many fights at 47. That's what would really put Terence in a superstar, in the stratosphere somewhere and make real money. He's not gonna make real money at 140 pounds.
I wanna see your best rendition of the rope-a-dope here. Terrence Earl Spence, who you got?
Oh man. Right now, if they fought today, I probably would pick Terence Crawford. But it's that guy Spence is scary, man. He's scary, and remember, he's at 147 pounds. So maybe if that fight was at a catch weight, 144, 145, made Spence struggle a little bit, definitely pick Crawford. At 47, I don't know, man. That's a good question.
All right, man, let me get to some other callers. Thanks again for calling in. Any social media or anywhere people could get to, check out your work, give it out at this time.
Yeah, man. Listen, follow me on Aka Hitch Boxing on Instagram, on SiriusXM Rush 93. But look out, we're gonna be doing an all sports and hip hop show on Hip Hop Nation, another channel on SiriusXM. So we're gonna be all over that channel, and you might catch me on Showbox real soon on TV. So look out, man. Hey, Ness, you're doing a great job as usual. I tune in every Thursday and Sunday. Keep up the good work. I'll see you around.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
All right.
Our 2016 Caller of the Year, Chris from New York. What's going on, 646 Chris?
Yo, what up, Ness? What up, Wingy? What up, James?
What up, Chris?
Chilling, man. I hate to say it, man. I called it easily, man. Crawford was going to go in. He was going to win easily, man. I called it.
That's why you're the Caller of the Year, bro.
I'll take it. I feel you, man. But let's not take anything away from Viktor Postol and get into this whole thing and saying like, oh, maybe Postol was underrated. No. We're not going to do this. Because every time somebody comes up and they steps up and they get dominated by someone who's an upper level fighter, such as a Rigondeaux, such like a Charlo, even with Wilder, and and people like that, it's always something like, oh, maybe the guy they fought wasn't that good. No.
Don't you hate it when people do that? Don't you hate it?
And he's just levels above the competition. That takes nothing away from Viktor Postol. Viktor Postol is a good fighter, but Terence Crawford is a special fighter, and he's one of the best in that division. And I've been saying it, man. And just like when Andre Ward did the same exact thing to Sergey Kovalev, I don't want to hear only winning Kovalev's resume was Bernard Hopkins and a washed-up John Pascal. It's bullshit. We got to stop doing this shit, man. These guys are good fighters. They're just levels above everybody else, man.
Great call. People always do that. They always have that tendency to rob the victor of their win. I've seen it over and over, time and time again. And the same thing will happen with Ward if he gets past Kovalev. But yeah, carry on, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it's an if. I think it's going to be easy, just the way Crawford did him. And Kovalev doesn't have an inside game, man. And that's all he does. You take away his power, he's not that good, man. That's all he has is power. And time and time again, these guys who have superior boxing skills can take away your power, and they can take away your greatest weapon. If you take away Kovalev's power away from him, what does this guy really have?
He can box. He can box. Kovalev can box. He can box, man.
Yeah, but he's got a point, man. If Andre Ward could stay on the inside of that power, right, where Kovalev can't get any extension, it's easy work to the body for Ward. He's a really good body. I mean, think back to the fight with Alan Green and guys like Miranda, man, how he tied them up and just went the maul.
Yeah, Kovalev doesn't have a massive inside game, but he's got more than power. He can box. He gauges distance nicely.
Chris,
we thought that Postol could box soon. Look what happened to him, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the same thing.
That's right.
I think Crawford deserves to be in the top 10 pound for pound. I mean, only guys you can put ahead of him, I guess. Why is it Wilder in the top 10 pound?
He was higher than a motherfucker. He was sold as fuck.
I'm not gonna put top 5, but he need to be in there, man.
I don't know, man. We need to make a show and just all go over it for however many hours it takes and come up with a legitimate top 10 because
that'd be a great show.
I just don't see him fitting in there. Like once we all put our minds together, like there's guys like Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev,
Kell Brook. You know, it's going to be a great debate.
So why would Lomachenko be above Crawford when he's only beaten Gary Russell Jr. and Rocky Martinez?
Because he's done it in shorter amount of time, right? Lomachenko is a 1-division champion in 4 fights, and Crawford is a 2-division champion in fucking 30. Come on.
He also had over 250 amateur fights.
Okay. But we're talking
if Crawford
pros.
did the same thing, he would have had the same type of thing in his career.
Yo, Famalam, we're talking
and on top
pros.
Of that, Crawford's faced the better opposition.
We're talking pros, man. He did it in shorter time.
Yeah,
it's just the bottom line.
If we're talking pros, Crawford has faced the better opposition.
But Lomachenko has faced top-tier opposition in a shorter amount of time. He went for a title shot after what? 1 fight? How do you compare, like, you know, it would be unfair to just compare resume for resume with Lomachenko when he skipped kindergarten, he skipped elementary, he skipped everything. He just went straight into the pros, bro. Like Crawford went through the steps appropriately. He went up and got tested.
He had more fights than just the 6 listed because he had that tournament that should have been counted as a pro too. So realistically, he should have maybe 10 or 15 fights instead of 6.
Okay, but you're staying stuck on Lomo, right? It's not just about Lomo. That's just one.
Not Lomo.
That's just one.
Lomo,
that's just one
Kovalev,
name.
Ward.
That's 3 already.
Tito, most people have
4.
You could put Thurman.
5. You see, it's getting tight. Bradley 6. Oh my God.
How is he not in the top 10?
Well, keep going, bro. You already got. It's only 4 spots left.
Okay, so we'll put Pacquiao in there.
Now you really ain't got shit left. 3 spots left. Who you got?
You got Adonis Stevenson.
Ooh, you putting him in. Yo, no way. No way.
I like this. I like this.
I mean, who else would you put in there?
Yo, don't forget, Adonis Stevenson was 2014 Fighter of the Year.
Yo, he put Adonis Stevenson in there, B. If you put
2014 Fighter of the Year.
No, listen. I'm not even going to argue with you about that. All I'm saying, if you put Adonis in there, there's no way Terence is in there. Because there's no room, man. There's no room. There's no room. How you going listen, how you going to put Adonis Stevenson in there whose claim to fame is a light heavyweight title, right? And Danny has done more.
Because Danny is a 2-division champion. I can give you Danny.
Because
you're right.
he came on this show saying that Crawford deserves, and so did the last caller from Cyrus. He's serious. He said, "Oh, well, Crawford's a 2-division champ." So was Danny. That's what I'm saying. Like when Danny faced Matisse, nobody was talking about, "Oh, he's top pound for pound number 3." Get the fuck out of here. Like all you did was fight the other good guy in the division, and Matisse. At that time, the perception of Matisse was greater and more of a threat than fucking Postol. Get out of here with this nobody. Everybody, oh, Danny, look at the fight. Look at what the fight y'all saw, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's easy in hindsight. Before, though, no.
It's not easy in hindsight.
It is because it was number 1 and number 2. It was number 1 and number 2
So
before.
I didn't say it Thursday. That's what you're saying?
No, I said Thursday that Crawford is going to beat him easily, and then his victory is going to get diminished, like it is now, man. Like it is now.
I'm not diminishing, Chris.
No, I'm not saying you're diminishing.
Y'all
but
knew
just
me.
In general, a lot of people are.
No, but
You're not,
me
but there's a lot of
in
people that
general.
are.
I mean, me specifically, like, you know, I never rated him highly. It was like, you know, it was an oh shit moment when he beat Matisse. It's like, what the fuck? I've been calling this dude all type of shit. He beat Matisse. That's how I felt. But then Crawford brought it all back into perspective. He woke all these motherfuckers up. Smell of coffee. The guy was not what we thought. Not what I thought. Not what y'all thought. What y'all thought. But anyway, Chris, let me get to some other callers, man. Thanks for calling in, as always. We got Antonio from Albany. Antonio.
Yo,
it's been a long time, fams.
Yo, it's been a long minute, man. Yo, right off the bat, man, I gotta go after you, Nash.
Uh-oh.
Yo, like, if it was Danny Garcia fighting Postol last night, you'd be having a whole different show, man.
Nah. You
gotta
hit it. You gotta listen to the preview show before you can say that.
Grab my popcorn. Here we go. Go.
All right, man. But real talk off the bat, man. Like, yo, Terence Crawford is a deal right now. He's the man right now. Like, he fought honestly. Like, if we are real boxing fans, Terence Crawford and Postol are the number 2 people at the 140 division. And then Crawford went and fought the number 2 guy and beat him. So, honestly, I don't give a fuck if Terence Crawford moved up and started fighting at 147 and beating the shit out of Danny Garcia, fucking Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Like, Terence Crawford is that dude. And I said this yesterday when I actually Twittered one of you guys. I actually Twittered the Boxing Coalition. Shout out to them, and also to you guys. Like, Terence Crawford is that dude. He's the next Floyd. He's the next undefeated fucking he's the next undefeated fucking guy, right? He's gonna move up to 147 and beat up all those guys up there, and I think he's the real deal. Honestly, Postol, he's a good ass fighter, and Crawford did what he had to do last night. Honestly, there were times in some rounds where I thought Crawford could have easily stopped Postol, but he just kept boxing and boxing and boxing, and I just don't understand why. But hey, you know, you gotta get the win somehow, and he got the win somehow. You know, I think Crawford is gonna be in the game for a few years now, and you know, it's good. I mean, I don't know. I'm high on this guy right now. I'm really high, and you know, I mean, that's my take.
Have you got any interest in the Pacquiao fight? Sorry, have you got any interest in the Pacquiao fight, brother?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is gonna go towards Ness. Honestly, Crawford could beat Pacquiao right now. This is honestly, I feel like if Crawford fights Pacquiao right now, it'll be another Canelo type Cotto fight, where the young lion, the up and coming, is gonna go towards the legend. You know, and I think Crawford is gonna beat Pacquiao if it happens next. You know, I think Crawford could actually stay away from Pacquiao's incoming, you know, punches and stuff like that, and just box him all night, just like Floyd did. You know, and honestly, I mean, I don't have anything else to say, but you know, Crawford is the fucking real deal. He's the next guy, and you know, Crawford fucking reminds me of fucking Whitaker, man. Like, honestly, man, especially he looks like him too, man. Like dead ass. Like, honestly, Crawford. If there's one guy right now, and then in this fucking boxing scene right now, that's gonna be a fucking legend, it's gonna be Crawford. And I honestly think as soon as he moves up to 147, he's gonna fucking bring a lot of he's gonna actually open a lot of people's eyes. You know, he's gonna be one of them guys. And man, like, I'm so glad that he was on pay-per-view. You know, I'm glad that, you know, he fought the fucking number 2 guy in the division. And, yo, fucking Bob Arum has a fucking golden goose in his stable right now. And I feel like it's going to be a good look moving into 24/7.
So when you compare Crawford versus Mayweather, what is Viktor Postol on Mayweather's resume? Is this Diego Chavez that he just knocked out? Is this where would you have put this win if you're going to compare it to Mayweather? What win did Mayweather I guess what fighter did he beat that you compare Viktor Postol to say that this is a comparable resume?
Honestly, right off the bat, Diego Corrales. You know, he moved up. He was at this is what, second fight at 140. You know, moving up and weighing, fighting the number 2 fucking guy in the division and just whooping his ass all 12 rounds. Like, honestly, Postol didn't have anything for fucking Crawford. You know, Crawford had an answer for everything. He was just taking his time, you know, taking him apart, and that's it, you know? I mean, come on, who else at 140 could be Postol? For God's sake, he'd be fucking Matisse. Come on, like I don't understand. Like, Crawford, honestly, I don't even know what he has left for 140. You know, he fucking beat the second guy in the division. He doesn't have anything else to prove. Why not fucking move up and fucking fight those guys? Honestly, right off the bat, I feel like he could beat Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if he fights Timothy Bradley. You know, I think he could beat him. You know,
Do you think
Crawford is that dude?
Do you feel there's anyone at 147 that can beat Crawford?
This guy in Nebraska, man. Like, he's that dude right now. And I'm
feel like that
excited right now because it's like the first time. Come on, like, this is a guy who just fucking went on pay-per-view for the first time, unification fight, and you know, he beat him. I mean, what else can we say, man? Like, Ness, you've been on some negative shit ever since the show started. Like, with Crawford, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But yeah, that's my call, and that's it, man. Crawford is that dude, man.
Cool, man. I don't know how I'm being negative, man. I'm just my issue is the guy being on a pound for pound list, man. Like, I mean, you know, Rancy's Bartholomew, wasn't he a champion at 130 and 135? Now he's like fighting at 140. Didn't he just beat Mickey Bay for his belt at 140 or not? Nah, Mickey Bay didn't have.
That was 135.
Yeah, no, Mickey Bell, he didn't have the belt anyway at that time, right? I think but I'm saying, like, it's other people doing this stuff, and we're not putting them on pound for pound. I just feel like the criteria that we use, we pick and choose how we use it depending on the person in which we use it for. That's all. Nobody agrees with that. It's okay.
Nah.
That's why you was yelling out Kelberg for pound list.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Here comes the truth.
Yo, fight doctor in the house. I'm on Rick James status. What's going on, gentlemen?
Fight doctor. I need you to be honest. I need you to teach me too. I don't need you to be cruel and mean. I need you to teach a young whippersnapper like myself. How is it that Terence Crawford could be pound for pound number 5 or above?
Listen, I came on this show some months ago. I think it was about the time of maybe the Deloney fight, or maybe it was Crawford's last fight. But I told you guys then, I said I thought that Crawford was potentially the second best fighter in the world. That's what I said then. Go back and listen to the shows. I don't remember what show it was, but I do remember it was around about the time of his last fight or fight before last. I stand by that statement right now, okay? If someone like Bum Lufkin or the tomato can crusher Kovalev can be 2 and 3 on the pound for pound list, then this guy certainly can be rated higher than them. Listen, his win last night eclipses anything that either one of those guys has ever done. Okay? And I want to say something about the European fighters, okay? And I love European fighters. I got nothing, I got nothing but love for them. But
Fight doctor, you're my boy, don't do this.
And no, not European fighters, but Eastern European fighters. Let me be specific, okay? All you have to do is take away the jab, and you have basically disarmed them, okay? What we saw last night, and I think Bermain Stavern was very astute in his observation, because I was thinking the same thing, that yes, this man showed flashes and glimpses of what Pernell Whitaker was at his absolute best. Yes, we saw that last night. But what we saw last night wasn't miraculous. It wasn't extraordinary. It wasn't. It was basic boxing 101. The only thing Crawford did was lateral movement and a jab. That's it. Okay, that's what he was doing all night. And just using basic boxing 101, he completely disarmed this man. Okay? The first couple of rounds, the first 3.5 rounds, Crawford was figuring out his timing. Now, I can tell you the exact moment when he had his timing down. 2 minutes into the third round. Prior to that point, Crawford was probing, moving around, boxing, looking at and figuring out what his tendencies were. At 3 minutes and at 2 minutes exactly of the third round, he went on the attack and didn't lose a round after that point. Okay? Fast forward 1 round to the beginning of the 5th round, what happens? He gets knocked down. Fast forward another minute in the 5th round, what happens? He gets knocked down again because he had his timing figured out. Okay? And it's amazing how, listen, these Eastern European guys, with the exception of Lomachenko, they are media creations. They're HBO creations, okay? Because this is the reason why Bum Lufkin wants nothing to do with Erislandy Lara, because of what we saw last night, okay? The slick southpaw is kryptonite for these Eastern European cats. I've been telling you all this. Will you finally start to listen to what I'm trying to say, please? Okay? Can I get somebody to say amen? Please.
Preach. Amen, bro. Amen. I'm giving you the praise hands right now on YouTube.
I'm calling AB, Fight Doctor. You know what I'm doing. I'm going to call AB.
Yo, these Eastern European cats, they all fight the same way. Jab, right hand. Jab, right hand. Come ahead in straight lines. Suspect defense. That's exactly what we saw from Lomachenko. That's exactly what we saw from Postol last night. This guy was doing the same thing all night. Freddie Roach needs to retire. Let's be honest.
But Fight Doctor, let me ask you, how can you diminish someone like Viktor Postol but then say this win's going to propel him to the top 3? How can you say he's so generic and he's so, he gets hit with everything as diminished defense and he's a bum-ass fucking fighter, but then say Terence Crawford for beating him is going to be in the top 3 pound for pound?
Ooh.
Okay, well, listen, I can answer that question. If someone like Golovkin and Kovalev can be top 5, well, who would they beat? Honestly, Kovalev's best win is a 49-year-old fighter. Okay.
Yo, but you're saying the general people are doing that. What I'm asking you is how can you diminish a fighter and then say the reason why he should be in top 3 pound for pound? I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm talking about you. Why do you have him in the top 3, but then knock Viktor Postol's ability to fight in the ring?
Here's the reason why. Okay, because they sold us this cat as the next coming. They sell us these Eastern Europeans as the best thing since sliced bread. But when you put them in the ring with somebody who understands the art of the sweet science, let me repeat that. When you put these guys in the ring with someone who understands the art of the sweet science, what happens? They get disarmed. They get embarrassed and get knocked out, which is definitely going to happen when in November when Ward finally gets his hands on Kovalev. And it's exactly what's going to happen when, if ever, Bum Lufkin accepts the challenge and meets Laura in the ring, which is not going to happen.
Yo, so I don't want to be argumentative with you, Fight Doctor, but you say that they were selling Viktor Postol as the next coming of like the best fighter, but who was the A-side fighter in this fight?
Well, Crawford was the A-side, okay, of course. All right,
so how are they selling Viktor Postol as the second coming? He was a 5-1 underdog.
Wait. Hold on a second. You got pump your brakes, because you guys were on here last week talking about, it's a 50-50 fight and definitely Postol has a chance and this, that, and the other. Come on. Did none of you all see the shutout? Okay, which is what this almost turned out to be. Okay? It was competitive for 2 rounds, and then that's it. After that, the fight was not competitive anymore. Listen, by the 5th round, it was a sparring session. Real talk. Okay? Real talk. So you guys didn't see that. Now, you guys might have been like, 50-50 fight or maybe slightly in favor of Terence Crawford, but you didn't see the ass whooping coming. You didn't see it coming. Now, I saw it coming. I predicted a knockout. Go back and listen to the tape. Okay? Thursday show. I said Terence Crawford would get him in 11 rounds. Now, he could have knocked him out, let's be honest, okay? Crawford let him off the hook. And listen, after the 5th, 6th round, Postol just quit. He basically just quit. He just agreed to take the loss because he knew what was going to happen. Had he pursued Crawford and tried to win the fight or tried to knock him out, he would have gotten knocked out. And my prediction would have came true. Okay, so let's cut the shit and let's be honest about what we saw and what the deal is and what everybody was talking about last week. Everybody
Cut it. Fight Doctor, we love you. Thanks for calling in. We do have to get to some other calls, and you had extensive amount of time.
Yo, what up, peoples?
What up, man?
What up?
What's up? Yeah, I was one of the few people that didn't think this fight would be close, and you know I was right. Not taking nothing from Postol, he's a good fighter, but as far as like his IQ is not even on the same level as Terence Crawford, as far as boxing skills and IQ goes. First of all, I see a lot of people criticizing Terence Crawford about, you know, his movement, and they say he was running. But we need to start criticizing the opponents for not being able to cut off the ring. You know, if you cut off the ring, then there's nowhere to go. I mean, you can't run out the ring, so I don't know how he was running. And guys like Crawford and Mayweather, Rigo, and Ward, they take your best, whatever your best strength are. It could be a left hook or your jab. They take it away. You know what I'm saying? So guys like that, it's going to be hard to beat, you know. What else? As far as pound for pound, I got him on my pound for pound, but not top 5. You know, not top 5, but I got him on my pound for pound. And so I got Danny Garcia also, you know. I think if you got Kovalev, who beat a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins, is his biggest win, if you got him top pound for pound, and you got Rigo, who only beat, his biggest win was Daenerys, you got him top pound for pound, you got to have Terence Crawford pound for pound, in my opinion. I think the pay-per-view numbers, I don't think he's gonna hit the 200 mark, 200,000. I think it might be like 150, you know, for his first pay-per-view, and that's not bad.
Yeah,
and,
what do you think about Pacquiao?
Oh yeah, huh?
Sorry, James.
No, I was just gonna say, does anyone remember that random ass pay-per-view that Marquez had where Brandon Rios fought Richard Brill on the undercard? It was
I remember that.
I think that was about 150,000 pay-per-view if I can remember correctly. So think about that. I'd be surprised if this cracked 100,000, to be honest.
There's some initial numbers flowing on the internet talking about 35,000.
See, there you go. 75 I think is the break point. I think Petey from Twitter said that it was 75 was the break-even point.
No, but I heard 60, right? Like, somebody do the math at $60 times 60,000.
It would be $360,000 then, or $3,600,000.
Exactly, and the purses for Crawford was 1.3, and for Postol was 600.
But think about the undercard then promotion.
Yeah, I'm giving you the numbers.
Okay, you're right.
Everybody, Benavidez and Santana got 50, so that's 100 right there.
Okay.
They definitely do good with 60,000.
Okay, one more point I want to say. I think we need to start kind of criticizing Freddie Roach as a trainer. I mean, he gets all these training of the years. And I don't know, it's like they didn't have a backup plan, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have no backup plan. Like Ness said, like they didn't go over cutting off the ring during training camp. And they were saying before the fight they thought Terence was going to be on his bike. So y'all didn't plan to cut off the ring? I think it's crazy. I wasn't able to see the whole fight. I only saw the first 4 rounds because it was a thunderstorm over here, so my TV was kind of fucked up, so I wasn't able to see the whole fight, so I was kind of disappointed on that, but that's all I got.
Santana, before you go. Pacquiao Crawford, what do you think of that one, man? Pacquiao too old, or?
I think that's a great. No, I think that's a great fight. I gotta go with Crawford. I think Manny Pacquiao, the first slick black fight he fought was Mayweather. Not saying Crawford is Mayweather at all as far as his defense, but you saw what Mayweather was able to keep his distance, keep a jab, and Manny Pacquiao was low. I think Crawford can maybe not do it as better as Mayweather, but I think he can neutralize Pacquiao's left hand, take that away his speed. So I got to give it to Crawford. I think it's a 60-40 fight for Crawford.
Cut it.
Good call.
Jones from Texas. Talk to me.
All right, man. I've been waiting to get on for a while. The first thing I want to say is, I mean, people criticizing Postol. You got to look at, just like y'all said about Sweet Pea or Mayweather. When you get to that elite level of boxing and you're in the ring with that, there comes a point in the fight when there's an understanding of this guy's better than me, and for me to change what's going on right now, I have to risk getting knocked out, or I can just ride this thing to a decision. Not everybody's Madonna. Not everybody's Arturo Gatti. And so not everybody's going to take that risk or, you know, anything like that. Every time you even faint, you're getting hit in the face. So I got to take that into effect. And then now on the pound for pound, how is Crawford not pound for pound? Like, if you look at the criteria, Ness asks, what's the criteria for pound? I think it has to go with resume, it has to go with what we're seeing in the ring skill, and it has to go with if all these fighters were the same size, who would be the best? And you can help determine that by them going up and down divisions. I'm looking at Crawford in the ring. He's not just winning, he's dominating these fighters. You look at his resume. I put his resume against Lomachenko's any day. The fact that Lomachenko negotiated in his contract that he needed a title shot in the second fight doesn't mean that his resume is better than Terence Crawford's. What I don't understand is, I've been watching this show for years, Ness, and I was there when it was Beeves, Jackie, in a room. So I watched these shows. I remember when Terence Crawford went to Scotland and fought Ricky Burns and you being excited. I remember Gamboa after he beat Gamboa and the show the day after. Those were big fights. We can't just erase everything that this man has done. And then, I think if you look at his resume, he's definitely top 10 pound for pound. Then you look at the skill level. Not only is he winning, he can box, he can crack. You look at, he can fight southpaw, he can fight orthodox. What else do you want from a pound for pound fighter? You can't check all these boxes with all these other guys. So I don't understand what y'all criteria is for pound.
Ness?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess your criteria is, 80% of the fighters that you fight, or you're moving them up in weight. You're not fighting them at their natural division, and then, just have one fight with one guy with one solid fight on his resume.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, that's why Golovkin and Kovalev are in there too.
No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It's like let's take the top pound for pound fighters over time. You look at like a Floyd Mayweather. You look at a Pacquiao. You look at certain guys. It wasn't just that they were dominating a division. Part of what goes into their favor is that they're going up divisions and they're showing that their skill travels. That, you know what I'm saying, regardless of my size, my skill level is this high, which is why they're pound for pound. You also look at the resume that they have, and then you just look at the skill level. So I'm just taking everything into account. I look at, the Gamboa. Okay, Gamboa went up, so I'll give you that. But still, at the time, that was a big fight. That was a big fight that he won. That was a big
but
name.
You're saying,
you know what I'm saying?
Ness, let me jump in real quick and let me ask him a question. I'm going to run down the list of ESPN pound-for-pound fighters. You tell me where Terence Crawford belongs. Roman Gonzalez, number 1. Number 2, Gennady Golovkin. Number 3, Manny Pacquiao. 4 is Rigondeaux. 5 is Kovalev. 6 is Ward. 7, Bradley. 8, Klitschko. 9, Cotto. And 10, Alvarez. Who gets out of the list to replace with Terence Crawford?
First off, I think because I was looking at that earlier before the show even started. And first of all, that order to me is just messed up in the first place. First of all, the fact that Roman Gonzalez is number 1 is a joke to me. I think Roman Gonzalez is a great fighter, but he was fighting in one of the weakest divisions in boxing. And so for him to dominate that, I mean, he's still a great fighter, but if you want to talk about opposition, there's guys on that list that are better. So what I'm
But
saying,
you would agree though that Cotto and Klitschko are the ones that he would replace. Do you think that the resume of Terence Crawford right now is better than Cotto and Klitschko?
I think he's better than Cotto. I think first of all because Cotto lost, and Cotto is not the same fighter that he has been, and the inactivity. Same with Klitschko, the same way. I think they're in the same boat that they will be replaced. I also think that like the only fighters that I can say right now that I feel have a better case, or who I look at and say those are of a higher level or on the same level, is Andre Ward. I would say Rigo. Even though Rigo, I just don't think that he's had the fights just because of whatever reasons. It's just been no detail donaire, but that's not his fault. I would say Sergey Kovalev, because Sergey Kovalev, I think he's been pretty dominant in that division as well.
Hey, Big Jones.
Besides that,
let me just get in here because I know you and I have talked off air, and you know I'm sitting here like a child trying not to be reprimanded, but I must interject now. With that same pound for pound topic in mind, I'm gonna read off some names. Tell me who doesn't belong on this list. Roman Gonzalez, Sergey Kovalev, Gennady Golovkin, Juan Francisco Estrada, Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, Guillermo Rigondeaux. What's that adversary for Gonzalez, the Japanese kid? Maybe Japanese? Maybe.
Yo, but he just lost. I forgot the cat's name, but he just lost by knockout, did he not?
Inu?
Exactly.
Enriue. Yeah, Enriue got knocked out recently.
That sucks. Well, all right, Canelo and Lomachenko.
Okay, Lomachenko, I don't get why Lomachenko is as high as he is. I think Crawford's better than Lomachenko. I think Crawford has a better resume than Gennady Golovkin.
All right.
That's my opinion. First of all, I look at Gennady Golovkin. I don't think that. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not a pound for pound fighter. And a lot of these fighters, I'm not saying they're pound for pound, but I'm saying if I'm making the list, I think Terence Crawford's higher than them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's some people besides Terence Crawford that aren't on that list that have a case to be on the list as of today. I think
Tyson Fury.
I think Danny Garcia has a case, but even I would put Terence Crawford at this moment over Danny Garcia. And Ness, I know you're about to go in. Just let me.
I'm not. Danny hasn't had a good win in a minute. What am I gonna get upset about?
And that's what I'm saying. Danny Garcia, and I look at his resume, and the thing is, you look at like a Lomachenko. I don't think his resume stacks up as far as wins with Terence Crawford. And I also look at he's lost before and he's struggled before. I look at not only is Crawford winning, but he's dominating and he's getting these guys out.
Yeah, but Danny also was fighting. Yo, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how do you. I got to move on, though, Big Jones. You've been on for 8 minutes. I got to go.
No, hold on. Let me say one more thing. Also, another thing you have to take into effect is not only has Crawford gone up from 135 to 140, but you look at James at the beginning of the show, he's saying that he would favor him over pretty much half of the top fighters in the 147th division right now.
That's James.
How does that
That's
not
James.
pound for pound?
That's James, though.
That's James.
I don't favor him over Earl Spence. I don't favor him over Earl Spence.
Yo, but Earl Spence you would favor him over a lot of the top 5 pound for pounds. We're talking about the deepest division in boxing, though. We're not talking about just the division above. We're talking about the deepest division.
And I'm talking about what is considered a prospect or on the cusp of contendership, and him not being able to pass that guy.
I'd favour him over most guys at 147.
Earl Spence is special. Don't bring up Earl Spence. Bring up other people.
He's at the. You see, I like to do things fair. He's at the bottom. Before you get to Pacquiao, you got to get past guys like Earl and whoever's above Earl. And in my perspective, that 7-pound leap. Listen, we just seen a face-off with Viktor Postol, and right away people got nervous. So you're gonna tell me A 7. All right, hey, Big Jones, that's you, and that's cool. That's your opinion. I'm not. Yo, go on other days where I argue with everybody because you don't agree with me.
You haven't made a good case for the other people that you have on the list over Terence Crawford, and you haven't made a good case for Terence Crawford not being on the list. Like I still don't understand.
I think it takes more than Viktor Postol to get onto the list.
Big Jones, you got to understand.
But it's not just Viktor Postol. You got Ray Beltran, who was a champion.
Yeah,
champion. Wait a minute.
Yo, but in the same token, everyone discredits these opponents.
Wait a minute. What champion was Ray Beltran? When?
Champion sparring on 24/7 against Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, whatever, Big Jones. Try again.
He was a champion. Ray Beltran was a champion, right?
Where? Just tell us if he was. When? Versus who? Whose belt?
Well, anyways, even if he's not a champion, you look at what he calls Viktor Postol. You still got Ricky Burns. You still have
Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns.
That's where Beltran should have been a champion because he got robbed against Ricky Burns. He got robbed, and then the fight after the Ricky Burns fight, I believe, was the Terence Crawford fight.
Jones, you got to understand, you're not going to be able to convince everybody of your argument. You've been on for now 12 minutes. There's other people. I'm sorry. What could I do? You think you're going to convince us all that Crawford belongs? I mean, you said your case. You have to allow them to hear you now.
This is a strange show, man.
It's because of the pound for pound thing.
This is a strange show. This is Crawford's shining moment, and I'm starting to get a sour taste. I'm starting to detect a little bit of soul.
No, it's not. It's not sour. It's high expectations mixed with unrealistic expectations.
I think what it is you're not allowed to ruffle the feathers. You're not allowed to ask a question. My question is legitimate.
Who said that?
Does he fucking deserve to be in the pound for pound? So this is a strange show because people who think he deserves to be there, they're upset. I'm a fucking hater. All I'm doing is asking the question. I never said he doesn't deserve. I'm asking. I definitely don't agree with him being top fucking 5. No. That's it.
Relax, brother. Relax, brother. You can relax. I'm just saying. I want to see Bud Crawford get his due respect, and it's fine to debate that, and I'm going to interject that I want to hear a little bit more respect towards Bud within the show. That's what I'm saying.
Yo, but that's fine. It's easy to say, though.
Get hung up on me not wanting him in the pound for pound. Like, don't make that. That's your argument. Like, he should be getting some sort of shine, but it's a debate about whether or not he belongs in pound for pound when it's an idiotic list.
Yeah, it is pretty stupid. That's why I've never had a pound for pound list before I come on this show. I've always said I've never had one.
The fucking shit list.
I've never had one before I come.
Yo, Nats, how many of these emoji pillows you got over there? You got those on Groupon. Nats hooking it up. He got oh my God, look at that.
Because Postal is.
Oh no.
Where's the crying one? Where's the smiley face with the crying right now? That's what I'd be holding up. Oh, of course you got it. Of course you got it. Yo, they must have had a Costco sale on that shit.
Nah, my daughter actually started it up. She bought me the first one. She bought me this one because she loved me. And then I said, damn, this might work for the show. So I started up. Because that shit one is for Jim Jones. I mean, not Jim Jones. Excuse me, Jim Jones. Not you in the chat. I meant
Jim Jones as in Drink Kool-Aid Killer?
Big Jones, mad at us. He had 12 minutes to convince us, and he mad he couldn't do that. Class and Bound, talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What up?
First of all, let me get that crow for the Postal pick.
Ooh.
Damn, if you pick Postal, you really got Terence pound for pound.
All right, so let's talk about some things. First, I'll talk about the fight. So the way Terence performed, it wasn't great. It was absolutely magnificent. To me, it was beautiful to watch. I absolutely adored the way he did everything. Like the first 3 or 4 rounds was just like, I thought Postal was doing some good things in there, and he was really feeling that. Except at the end of that 4th round, he started getting tagged a bit. I'm like, all right, Postal, we'll start using the jab a little more. He kept pawing with it, And eventually in that fifth round, I think it was the fifth, when he got dropped, like immediately when the bell rang, I was just like, oh, like it must have been nothing. And then the second knockdown came, and I was just like, oh snap. And then the rest of it was just all downhill from there. Like the Postol fell like dominoes. It was over. Like he couldn't stop the momentum of Crawford, and it was really impressive. I'm kind of glad I didn't have any people over to watch the fight, because casuals would not have really appreciated what Crawford was doing in there. But I definitely enjoyed it. Now the debate on what Postol goes, Postol is a good fighter. Anyone saying that Postol isn't anything or he's not a good fighter honestly needs to shut up, because that's ridiculous. But like, we're getting to the point where if you lose even one fight, that means you're not good. Like, you're not allowed to lose. That's why this sport doesn't have a lot of stars, because the moment a fighter loses even once, their fans turn their back on them. Like, we are as much as responsible for the downgrade of boxing as the promoters are, because we don't stick with these guys. We expect them to be Superman. We expect them to not have any flaws.
Yes.
We're so nitpicky.
Yes.
We're so
I
petty
agree.
on stuff. And it's just like people need to get over it. Crawford is something else. Like, Postol is still a good 140-pounder. Who do you think beats him at 140? Like, I can't name one. Like, he probably beats everybody else at 140. So give Crawford his credit. He did exactly what. I mean, he couldn't have done anything more. Except knock him out. And I mean, you can't really ask for too much. But the whole pound for pound thing, that is so subjective. Like, everyone has a different opinion on that. Like, people are saying, Golovkin doesn't do this, and it's like, okay, that's subjective. Like, that's your opinion. Just because you're stating facts in a way, or you're stating half truths in a certain way, doesn't mean you're right. Like, everyone's pound for pound list is gonna look different. Like, I don't have Crawford in my top 5. I have him in my top 10 possibly. I have to look a little bit more at people, and I was actually surprised that people didn't even, like, we've gotten up a couple of pound for pound lists, and no one even mentioned Tyson Fury. Are we seriously forgetting that this dude?
I mentioned Tyson Fury when they were talking about Vladimir. I said, "Where's Fury?"
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Are you guys dumb? If you have Vladimir in there, where's Tyson Fury? He just
Yep.
won. So it's like, I see that's what I'm talking about. And the whole race thing in boxing, man, that's such a, oh my goodness. I can't stand when people try to make this about more than what it is. It's boxing. If you win, you go on to succeed and do better things. If you lose, you pick yourself back up and you do more. That's what Canelo's done. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. Okay, his career's back on track, and I feel we need to be more supportive of these fighters. But all in all, that's really all I have to say. What do you guys think about the whole pound-for-pound ranking, or what are your thoughts on that? Because I know, Ness, you think he shouldn't be top 5 pound-for-pound, or considering, or do you not consider him in the top 10?
Well, I will answer this, and I will say, what I will say, though, is that not only do you deserve coins, Ness, you need to give him straight to the power-up, because I thought this was a great call.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll let Ness answer the question about pound for pound. We all know his answer, but that was a great call from start to finish.
Let me go quickly with the pound for pound quickly, Nez. The pound for pound concept only come into my head, as I was trying to say earlier, once I come on this show, because it's come up several times. Before that, I've never had one. There's fighters that I've liked, but as the caller said, it's so subjective.
The problem with the biggest problem with the pound for pound list is if I was to say, hey, Wingy, give me, if you were on a desert island, what's the #1 CD you want to listen to? You'd be like, oh, well, I like this CD. And then you think about this other one, you're like, oh, shit, I like that CD for X and Y reasons.
Big pun, capital punishment. Dead in the middle of little do we know the middle man who didn't do diddly. Carry on.
What did you just have a seizure on air, bro? Are you okay? What's the equivalent of UK 911? We're going to call it. I don't know what that was.
Dropping those bars. Sorry, carry on, brother.
What all I'm saying is that he's right. It's so subjective. To argue it is stupid. It's almost like religion and politics. Pound for pound should not be argued between people because everyone's going to have a different opinion.
That's what I've always said.
Make sense.
I agree. That's what I've always said. It's just that Nez is forcing me to pick a pound for pound list in this show.
Listen,
he's not forcing you to pick a pound for pound list. We're saying, is he in the top 10, which I think you can throw around.
I'm forcing you to be subjective, and what this show is showing people that even though they're upset at me for thinking that he doesn't belong, slowly they'll see. Because now you interjected another name, which is Fury. So now you're pushing another name in, which pushes another name out. There's just not enough room. It's a stupid list, man.
I would say, to argue with the ESPN, I would say Fury would replace Klitschko, and I say I could see an argument for Crawford obviously taking out Cotto on that list.
Why is Ward so low? That's what I'm saying. It's subjective.
Ward's number one. Ward's number one to me.
Is Canelo on their list? Because how is Canelo
Yep.
not on their list?
He's number 10, I thought. Yeah, he's number 10.
All right, now that's fucked up. How is he 10, right? That's what I'm saying. But Crawford is 5?
That motherfucker Ward's hardly lost a round in his whole career.
Yeah. Oh, they got Andre Ward number 6.
Matter of fact, hey Wingy, this is something you're gonna like, and obviously everyone else. Let's forget about the. I know it's in the show, but let's forget about the pound for pound thing. I just got word from one of our alumni that if the show gets to 200 likes, they will do a pound for pound show where we will discuss pound for pound and somehow try to find a way to come up with a legitimate pound for pound.
Yeah, we could figure out a way to vote and get that pound for pound on the actual website and just continue to keep doing it as long as people are active and participant in it. Either tweet Wingy, me, or Ness, obviously yourself, email. Maybe we could get something going where we can actually get a TBV pound for pound.
Yeah, I mean, it would be I guess needed because of all the back and forth, right? Jake the Snake, talk to us. Jake the Snake.
DDT.
Jake the Snake 812. I guess that's Indiana. Talk to us. And remember, guys, if you get to that 200 mark, we're gonna do a pound for pound show this week, maybe a morning show, whatever works for Wingy, obviously, and the guys. Jake the Snake, you there? Mayday, mayday.
Yo.
What up?
I'm here. Hey, I got some bars to drop, like the Scottish. What's the Scottish guy's name?
MV Chew?
MV Chew.
Yeah, he dropped some bars. Hey, yo, here's some bars. Crawford must be against gun ownership because he took away all of Postol's weapons. And
Boom!
He's trying to get his girl pregnant because he forgot the plan B. What the fuck? You ain't got no plan B. Freddie
Yo,
Mercury.
that wasn't bars. That was like Drake bars. Like, it's cold outside, frozen ice cream. It didn't rhyme. I don't need the Drake. I want some smoothness. I want some Nas to it. I want some rhyme for the reason.
Eyeball came out.
Okay, I guess I implied I was actually gonna rap. No, I was just gonna say something funny. My bad.
I'll give you snaps. Because it was poetry is what I'll do.
All right. How was that $70 with that junk undercard? I don't know. I mean, Oscar Valdez look good.
Benavides.
I don't agree that whoever beats Pacquiao will take the PPV, become the next PPV king, because that's not how PPV kings are built. They're built just on like popularity of like guys getting together, buying the Pacquiao fight. Like you can't just instantly become him by beating him. I don't agree with that point overall. Where's Lamont Peterson? Can someone tell me he's not on the BoxRec 140?
He's supposed to be at 147
ranking.
now. He's supposed to be at 147, but
Okay,
nothing official. Nothing official yet.
Okay, so all right, fair enough. So that's not an option for Crawford because that would be good. Obviously Pacquiao. I like people were saying Garcia, Bartholomew. I like it. He can stay at 140. He can say I disagree with that. He has to go to 147 to be a star. There's guys at 140. Anyway, shit. I have one more.
James,
point
on the
here.
check-in, you're wrong, James. On the check-in, my boy Jeffrey, letting you know.
Okay.
Enriue did not lose. He's still undefeated with 10 wins and 8 knockouts.
I don't know who Enriue is, but it's Enriue. But I could be wrong. You're right. You could. I was on the fence. I know someone just lost big. I guess that was a Chocolatito. I was kind of nervous about saying it, but whatever. I was wrong. It is what it is.
I'm not even saying it to make you feel bad that you had it wrong. I'm just saying it because it's like one of those nah moments where
Fact check, bro.
that's no, not to you again. That's just another credible quote unquote pound for pounder. So again, now he goes back in the list. Someone has to be pushed out. It's just not enough space for Crawford at the moment. Maybe. I could be wrong.
That's where the argument lies right there, is that maybe is where the question is in doubt for a lot of people.
But that's what James is saying, is that it's so subjective. It's like arguing all types of shit that, your favorite color. It's like, fuck it. I don't know. Everyone's got their own. Crawford looks awesome. Anyway, I feel like I'm just kind of going off here. Anyway, I got to get out of here. You guys are awesome. I like that you destroy the bullshit. You call people out. You don't let people bullshit on your show. A lot of people let callers say unreasonable things without countering it. So anyway, props to you for not getting it twisted, which is easy to do in the promotional game of boxing. But anyway, thank you for the call, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother, for calling in and being part of the show. Jake the Snake Santiago.
Hey guys, how goes it today?
What's going on,
You
Santiago?
guys are having one hell of a crazy. Not much, dude. You guys are having once again another crazy ass show. I mean, I just want to get to the points really quickly, and then if you guys have anything you guys would like to ask me, because obviously you guys are gonna have questions to ask people. I just want to get down to the keys, the points that you guys have on your YouTube. So, because I don't think anyone's talked about the Oscar Valdez fight, has they?
No, not yet.
We sure haven't. We made it a topic, and we haven't even touched on it.
Well, I guess I'll be the first to touch it then, because I was kind of like, it went from Crawford Postol to pound for pound. So let's get to the points, please. So I saw the fight. I think Valdez looked impressive, and he already made it clear he wants to fight the best. So at featherweight, right now you have Leo Santa Cruz as the super champion for the WBA. Jesus Square, who Abner Mars was supposed to fight but didn't. Gary Russell Jr. and Lee Selby. So I think if you were to choose to fight any one of them, it would be a really great test for him, but also a really great fight for us. What are your thoughts on that?
You think he's ready, though, for someone like that? Do you think he's... I think maybe an Abner Mares, but a Cuellar, a Santa Cruz, Gary Russell. Do you think he's ready for these type of fights?
The three you just mentioned, probably not. Like I would like Valdez to fight Abner Mares, because from what I do understand, the Cuellar fight was called off because of an eye issue he had. So I don't really know what that's up, but I would agree that I think he needs maybe a few title defenses before he decides to challenge one of the titles. But those are really, really big names out there for him to stake his claim as featherweight champion.
Yo, let me ask you, against someone like Nicholas Walters, who's on his side of the pond, do you give him a chance, or do you want to pump your brakes real quick on Oscar Valdez?
He gonna fight Sosa next.
That's not a bad fight, though. If Oscar Valdez fights Sosa, I'm good with that fight.
That's a decent fight. I like that.
I like that.
He don't want none of Selby, but that's a good fight.
Yo, Wingy over there.
I
love
don't even
it.
give him anything like that, because honestly, like, this dude yesterday was nobody. I mean, who was this dude? He looked like a fucking offspring of Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street.
I think they were hoping this was his Diego Chavez. I think this was his Diego Chavez moment. Yo, Wingy, oh my God, Wingy's over there. I love it.
I'm just saying, was it me or did anybody see this dude's fucking eyebrows? Look like Beowulf. Beowulf in the ring and shit. I'm like, yo.
Yo, how can you not laugh when Wingy goes off like that? Wingy's laugh is making me laugh right now. I love it. I love the enthusiasm over there from the UK at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yo, I didn't understand it. It felt like he had two little afros on his forehead, and then he was, listen, because I had people over. I always tell you, I don't normally watch fights with people, right? So I have people over. I'm entertaining. Castle Hill Gill is here. Everybody's here. We having drinks and everything. I turned around. I'm like, damn, this is a fight. And then I fucking look at the time, and it's the round one. And I'm like, what the fuck? This kid, I thought he was tough, because at the minute that I look, it's like, wow, he's giving Valdez a bit of a go. But then I look again, it's only round one. This guy's face is busted up.
What?
Whoa.
When I looked into the fight, the opponent Reyes, he had a good record, but then I started trying to analyse the actual opponents, and I didn't see too many on there that I recognised. He had a good knockout ratio, and I also got the feeling that Reyes got a little bit starstruck. That's the feeling that I got, if not starstruck. Under the lights, he kind of froze a bit, and I was actually surprised that, as you said, Valdez was swinging away so early. but it was swinging a little bit too much. And I know I joke with the whole Selby thing, but honestly, do you like? I don't even know if you like Selby or not. Selby boxes quite smoothly, although he has looked a little bit rough in his last few fights. How do you see the Selby fight?
I'm sure James is gonna have a better breakdown than me, but I'm gonna say, I've heard the Selby's like the Welsh Mayweather.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But he's a good
box though, and he's pretty good off the back foot. So maybe there's a version of him that could stay away from Oscar Valdez.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That being said, I don't think Selby is this fucking dude, Bert and Ernie's offspring either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that left hook. I mean, this kid landed like 4 straight left hooks on this poor guy. I mean, look, it's the same thing that they're doing to Felix Verdejo. Like, they give him these, foreigners from like some weird.
But this foreigner was undefeated though. Let's be real, 26-0.
Not undefeated from Argentina. He was from Argentina, wasn't he?
That's why I said this was his Diego Chavez fight. This was his fight that he was supposed to be like the Keith Thurman, but unfortunately he went through and walked out and knocked out the Bert and Ernie or whatever the fuck you want to call him.
God, stop it! Please don't say that because I can't get through the show every time you say that. And he was, the Argentinians always got a hard punch on them. That's why when I looked at the resume, when I saw where the guy was from, Ruiz, I thought this could be an interesting fight if he catches him. But Valdez didn't go out there to try and box, keep it, sort of like keep distance, show fear of his power. He just took it straight to him. And I liked him. I've only seen like 3 Valdez fights, a couple of Valdez fights, the Gradovich fight, and the other one, I can't remember the guy. The guy went up against Frampton. So I've only seen a few of his Valdez fights, but I like that one.
What I like about Valdez in this fight though is when he smells blood in the water, he's ready to tear you apart, and that's what we saw in this fight.
And that's what I say. Like, the difference between him and Felix Verdejo is like when they're both giving him, significantly, shine fights, right? They're like, here, shine, my son, and one is shining and the other isn't. Let's move forward. We have Jose from Minnesota. Jose, hello? Minnesota.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother?
Man, just chill here, man. Just got off of work right now, so I'm glad you took my call this time, man. I see last time, what was it, Thursday?
Yeah.
I called, man, and you didn't answer the phone. You was talking to me and you didn't answer the phone.
Sorry about that, bro.
Ness is ducking.
No, that was Ness. Yeah, that was Ness. That was Ness. But it's cool. But, I had on Thursday, man, I really wanted to come down on everybody, all those callers that were talking about why should we pay for this fight? This is not worth paying for if we got Thurman versus Sean Porter for free. And, in my opinion, I just don't understand why everybody gotta bring down Crawford before, he has to prove himself. We already know that he's like one of the great ones. We know that this is one of the new guys for the new generation. We know that. And then he's fighting Postol. I mean, Postol is not a nobody. Look what he's doing. He's coming up in the game too. I just didn't understand why can't this be a pay-per-view fight? Why can't we share, all the money with Crawford? I mean, come on, it's Crawford. He's one of the most humble guys. A black fighter. Come on, a black fighter who's just humble. And we want to talk about let's not give him any money, but yet we still want to give our money to Floyd?
But the biggest problem with your argument, the biggest problem with your argument right though is that this fight is really great, but 4 years ago, this is a fight that was expected. You're almost expected when you're number 2 and you're in the same pool as number 1 to fight each other. I don't agree with this to be pay-per-view. When we were in the last show, they were talking about, is this a super fight? No, this is the fight we should be getting normally because these are the 2 top divisions. Super fight is someone like Andre Ward Kovalev when you have 2 pound-for-pound fighters fighting each other. But I don't agree with this to be pay-per-view because this is something that you pay your HBO subscription for. You do certain things to get these type of fights. These are fights we should expect. We shouldn't have to pay another $60 on top of it. Because realistically, this is a championship boxing. But after seeing what Crawford did, he is a pay-per-view star, but not quite yet. I still don't think that he's ready for people to start paying to see Crawford.
I just want to see.
Why? You still don't answer the question that. But why can't he be a pay-per-view fighter now?
But who did he fight to be a pay-per-view star? I don't think Adrian Broner's a pay-per-view star. Adrian Broner's fought plenty of people.
That's my argument. Hold on, but my argument to we're supposed to get it, and we're gonna bring the fighters down. And my argument, you see UFC. I mean, look how many fights Crawford has, and he's like 20-something fights into the good, and you telling me he's not proven, undefeated? How many people you know, or how many people do you know actually know that can do what he can do?
You're right, though, but hold on real quick. But being proven is different. You know what I mean? Like, his resume isn't worth me paying $60 every time I see him. His resume isn't as deep as I want it to be for me to be paying $60 every time I see Crawford out.
I just want to quickly say what he's actually doing there is the old ET, and I understand what he's saying. It sounds to me like he's saying going off Crawford's potential or leaving the skill, that should warrant enough for us to pay him. But in reality, there's a lot of guys at 140 who he hasn't taken on yet. So I can understand kind of where he's going, but yeah, you're not going to pay for him at this stage yet. But you know, he can get there. He can get there to that pay-per-view pinnacle. Just got to give him time.
Nicki Minaj, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening?
Monster.
What's happening? What's up?
What's up,
What's happening? Oh my God. What is going on? Why are so many people calling in saying pound for pound? I don't understand.
Because there's a lot of alcohol in the water of the world?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
No, keep going, Monster Piece. Do your thing right now. That was a bad joke.
Roll.
Anyways, good evening, guys. How you doing? Hi, Wingy. Hi, James. Hi, Nas.
What up?
Hey.
Hey, so yeah, why is everybody calling in about this pound for pound? I mean, he's not pound for pound. When I called in last week, right, I've been excited about this fight. I've been talking about this fight since you made that episode about that stupid Triple G and Brooks fight that even though I will probably watch it, I really don't care. I could care less about it. But I've been wanting to see this fight, and it's because, like I said in the last show, it was just meant to, you know, to answer some questions that we had about Crawford. It wasn't meant to call in and say, oh, Crawford is #1 pound for pound, or he's the best, or whatever. Of course he's great. That's what we wanted to see in this fight, was greatness. And he proved that. My question now to you guys is, like, do you think Crawford versus a DSG fight is good, or a Crawford versus a Pacman fight will be good? I'm thinking like at 147, or maybe a Pacman fight at 140, because I heard that Pacman could still do 140.
I like the Pacman fight at 140 for many reasons, not just to see how Crawford handles it. I like the whole idea of Pacquiao coming back and taking on a guy like Crawford. I think that builds up the build-up to the fight. I think it's a great story behind the fight, and technically in the ring, I really like it, because last show I edged to Pacquiao. Even now, I don't know. I'd still probably just edge to Pacquiao, because I'd still want to see a bit more from Crawford. That's how I feel.
Okay, and you wouldn't. I personally like the Pacquiao fight too for Crawford next. I think him being the undisputed champion right now, 140, and just winning so unequivocally on that night. It was just, to me, I think he doesn't really need another fight in between that. I mean, it all really depends on negotiations, but I really don't think he needs another fight. I think he could go straight and fight Pacman next. I think he needs someone like Pacquiao to kind of like, I don't know, to kind of put him on that, you know, radar, on the casual fans' radar. And I think that would really help Crawford. In terms of DSG, though, I really am not a big fan of DSG. And I remember the first time I called, I went against Guerrero and you shot me. So I really don't. What?
No, I said I remember.
Yeah, like I think Crawford could beat DSG. So I don't know, maybe that would be a good fight too. But I would prefer just like you, Wingy, I would prefer the Pacquiao fight as well. I think it really does has a better just an overall better feel to it.
There's so much around that whole Pacquiao Crawford fight. It really works well. It gels well. I just really like it. And like I said before, I'd have an innate I'd respect Pacquiao a lot more for him coming back to face Crawford. That'd be awesome. Coming out of retirement to face Crawford. People know I still rock my TMT, briefs. But I'd respect Pacquiao massively if he come back against Crawford. Young, hungry lion.
I mean, I can see that. I guess I'd have to agree there. Masterpiece, thank you for calling in. I'm sorry 1,000 times to Boxing MD, who has been waiting on hold patiently for so long, and I just keep forgetting him on the Skype machine. Sometimes the bat line isn't the great line.
So I'll take my crow.
Yeah, I mean, how would you like a serve, being as though that you bet money on this fight?
I mean, it's $50, and I ended up, even though I advertised the fact that it was $49.99, I didn't even buy that pay-per-view. So, essentially, it canceled itself. So I'll take it Tsushima style. It's funny because I was really impressed, and I give Terence Crawford the utmost credit for looking the way he did, and I'm not critical of his performance at all, even though at times he was, people say he could have done more, but the way he won, and I did rate Viktor Postol, I'm very impressed. And this is what the funny part is, you even caught him doing this, the fight doctor. He has so much hatred in his heart from fighters from certain regions of the parts of the world that he had to take away credit from Viktor Postol, which made his argument for Terence Crawford being whatever pound for pound is on the list invalid, because he's so dishonest. And you know what happened in the year 2004? It was the last year that an American won a gold medal in the Olympics. We need to be stopping so ethnocentric to think that American fighters are the only fighters that can have success in the sport of boxing. Do you really think Viktor Postol and Lomachenko possess the same skill set? Do you really feel like Gennady Golovkin and Viktor Postol possess the same skill set? Do they not have pedigree with Golovkin has a silver medal? I mean, I didn't hear that Viktor Postol was a world champion Olympic medalist. So it's to think that only certain fighters can have this type of success, I think is very ethnocentric and honestly very incorrect. And also about the Ness, you're talking about the pay-per-view numbers, which I predicted being low. The cable provider gets a piece of the money that comes from the $60 or whatever. So the math's not that simple. There's taxes, there's transition fees. So whatever it didn't make money, at least with the numbers that we know of. We don't know what the gate is, but it looks bad. You guys have any comments on that?
Yeah, that's not a good thing though. Obviously, that it looks bad, because it would have been good for this to be a successful pay-per-view to see Terence Crawford.
But how do you feel about the fact that we haven't had? It's the last year, 2004 is the last year that we had a gold medalist. The idea that only a slick American fighter could have success in the sport of boxing, I think, is ignorant. I mean, does that make any sense? Like, are our boxers sitting on their ass, deciding not to go out and compete, or is the talent not as good as it used to be back in the day? I'm just confused here. Is there something I'm missing, or are we choosing not to compete? What's the answer? Are we that blind of what's going on in the world that Americans aren't having the type of success in tournaments around the world, thus our pros not being as good, thus our dominance not being so, I guess, encompassing around the sport? I just don't get it. Do these callers not get it? I mean, Ness, do you disagree with what I'm saying?
You want me to disagree or agree on what? On the fact that we have less Olympians?
We have less talent than we used to have. I mean, in the 70s and the 80s and in the early 90s, we were dominating the sport of boxing.
Yeah, you got to understand, though, for us, it really doesn't matter where you come from, even though people get hung up on
Not you, Ness, but a lot of the people who listen to this show that you are, that you run.
No, I get you. But I think that things would be different if we had the accessibility to view the fights. That's all. I think if we were given access to Postol and given choice to whether or not we wanted to see him on his early career, maybe some of us would have watched and some wouldn't, you know?
But I'm not necessarily saying Postol. I'm saying some other guys, generally speaking, in the sport.
I mean in general as well. Like,
so you're saying out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, these Eastern Europeans, you want people to believe in them and research them. We can't pronounce their names. We can't spell their names. They're not on our television. What do you want us to do? We're not being racist. We're not being fucking prejudiced to them.
Dismissive.
Yes, dismissive.
Being dismissive.
Yes,
but
yes.
That's a form of whatever you call it. It's if you were dismissing a Mexican fighter because you don't know him, some could see that as being racist.
But I'm
being honest, Nestor.
But we do dismiss him. Tell me we haven't dismissed fucking Gilberto Ramirez. He came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Because he hasn't done anything.
He's that
good doing it.
Boxing him.
But that's my point. He's a grown-ass man who's a professional who nobody was hyping. We weren't hyping him just because he's Mexican.
And he doesn't look that good. Well, he doesn't pass the eye test.
He stepped up in the Abraham
Boxing MD, can I ask you a question, bro?
Yes.
First of all, I do actually agree with a lot of your points. The fighters are going out of my head now, but I watched a lot of Eastern European fighters over the weekend. I can't remember on the card in front of me.
Kaitroff.
Yeah, there was another guy as well. He was he was in the week before. He was a kickboxer. I forgot his name. And I thought these guys are really talented. Yeah, that's right. And people do need to go out and seek them. But I just want to ask you a question. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes when Fight Doctor calls in, it does sound like he's got
it's not
edge.
Just, I mean, he's.
Hold on. Let me finish. I just want to ask though. Every call that I've.
I mean, that's not for you, Wingy. I don't know why you're making feel.
Every call that I've heard you on, there's a racial tint behind it. So I want to know, what is the issue? If you just say it, get it out there, because I want to hear it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying you've got an issue, but I want to know what the beef is. It's like you're kind of skirting around it. Just get out there and say what it is.
You need him to say, you know it. He feels like we are dismissive of Eastern Europeans.
Is that right, MD? Is that the main issue?
Am I on mute?
You were.
Go.
Because we needed to cut you.
But he asked me a serious question, and I could answer it, and then I'll let you guys go.
Cool, go, bro.
Is that the way that some people... It's no different than any other bias. It's when I look at the sport objectively, I might not be the best... Terence Crawford's style might not be my go-to style because he doesn't necessarily have the most knockout power. He's not necessarily the most engaging. But I look at him and I see a great talent. I think a lot of these callers who want to be educated in the sport of boxers, when they look at some white European guy, they think that he doesn't have the chance to compete with this slick black American. And to me, I think that they think that limits their perception of the sport. Thus, me kind of having the only voice to say that isn't always the case. It's not the 1980s anymore. We don't have the type of talent dominance of the world over the world that we used to. And to be educated boxing fans, we need to be more objective. That's my issue.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. There's so many fighters out there which I watch, which I know a lot of people would actually really enjoy if they know them. They're gone off the top of my head now. But like I said, over the weekend, there was a lot of Eastern European fighters. They're boxing, but it's not just blind getting hit. It's a lot of intelligence there. And there's even some slickness. I keep forgetting that guy's name, the kickboxer guy. There was even some slickness in his style. Do you remember Dmitry Pirog?
Yeah, Mr. Back Injury himself.
I even liked his style. Do you know what I'm saying? So I get what he's saying. I just wanted to know what the issue was. And we got there.
You know, he had a bit of a Lucian Bute style, a bit slower.
Yes.
And when I mean slow, I don't mean like his punching speed. I mean just like his, kind of that rhythm that he did with his hip and shoulders.
Yeah.
Was a little slower than Bute. MD, we're out. Rod from Philly, talk to me.
Hey, what's going on?
What up?
What up?
So, I think that was a impressive performance by Crawford. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer of a fight, but I guess Postol just wasn't up for the challenge. As far as the pound for pound go, I think Crawford's right. He's right there on the outskirts of it, if not the bottom 10. He's a great fighter. I think he's one of the few fighters, him, Andre Ward, maybe Guillermo Rigondeaux, that can adjust on the fly and just nullify whatever the opponent has. So I think that makes him really special.
Well, all right. Thanks for calling in, Rod. Short and sweet. Cruise Control, you're up.
Yo, what's going on, Boxing Voice?
What up? Yo, we actually
Chilling.
what do we need here? We
Go
need
ahead.
11 more? Is it 11 more? Am I doing good math here? No, actually, we need 21 more, right? Yep. 21 more likes to
First
get
off,
that show.
I gotta take, instead of taking some crow, I'm gonna take 2 gunshots. I picked Postol by knockout. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Yeah, all that. Basically, man, Crawford just broke this guy down, man. He used his footwork. You know what I'm saying? Space was perfect. He looked good in there. He took Postol's jab away. I figured Postol would adjust like he did in the Matisse fight, but that didn't happen. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to be duped again. Now, is he ready for Pac? He could fight Pac. I think he'll give Pac. I think he actually gives Pac problems. He might actually give Pac problems. But, you know, Pacquiao's in and out. You know, he's used to fighting, you know, tough fighters, slick fighters. So, you know, it'll be a good fight. But I would rather see him fight Broner, like you said, Ness. I think that would be a good fight. That's his money fight with all the pre-fight hoopla. Adrian Broner talking smack, him talking smack.
He'll get bigger, man.
From Nebraska.
Yo, he'll get bigger. It'll build itself.
That fight is huge.
Huge, man. And he'll win, so he'll be the hero.
See, I don't know. I don't know if he'll win. I think if Adrian Broner comes in there and fights, you know how he fought against was it DeMarco?
DeMarco,
He might give him problems, man. I think he might give him problems.
I think Adrian Broner's too stationary. He's planted in one place. Crawford's got too much movement, man. The build-up would be great, but Crawford's got too much movement.
Yeah, but, you know, Adrian Broner, you know, he saw that in Sean Porter kind of sorta with the bull rush. But, you know, that side-to-side movement is what will probably cause the problem. But I think Adrian will just, you know, stalk him down. And he kind of knows how to cut the ring off a little bit. But I think that would be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Pac. Now, the pound-for-pound thing is crazy. It's irrelevant. It's just like asking me who's the best, you know what I'm saying, in that division. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to ask me that, you got to unify all the belts to be pound-for-pound. You can't just fight nobodies, not people out who are underweight, off of layoffs, and people who are under two weight classes below and put them on for pound. That don't solidify. Sugar Ray didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Robinson, that is. You know what I'm saying? Or Leonard, or Hearns, all the great fighters in the past. You know what I'm saying? So, and another thing, if somebody's mentioning Pacquiao, you know, Crawford got to get through Pacquiao, but how come Marquez ain't on there? Because he's the guy that knocked Pacquiao out. So how come he ain't on the pound-for-pound list? And he fought him 4 times. So, you know, it is what it is. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a good night. Be easy one.
Peace.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. That was a good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Cannot complain. So we got some alumni coming up.
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain code, Norway, shorty wants that full play, I'm like, no way, gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it, like Wingy, call me Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, the extension.
Yo, man, that's an awesome thing. Yo, first of all, I think you should give a round of applause, man, to all the callers as crazy as me that are willing to wait 2.5 hours to give their opinion, man. That's what makes the show great, man, the loyalty we give you guys.
Thank you.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So that's cool. Second of all, fuck this talk. I mean, this comment would have been a lot more relevant an hour ago. But I think you should get some police sirens on there for Big Jones, man, because that guy bitch slapped you so bad. That's domestic violence, my friend. Yo. Yo, man, how could you possibly say Lomachenko skipped kindergarten? He fucking flunked his SATs, man. He lost against Salido, who is an above-average fighter, man. So your argument, totally bonked, man. Totally terrible. Bad. Crawford is that good, man. He's amazing. I was at the fight live in Vegas. Probably the most entertaining fight I've seen ever, like honestly, live. It was amazing. The fight was unreal. It's too bad sometimes that can't get seen on TV, man, but it's a beautiful fight. Crawford won the crowd over. And I think he's on to great things, man. And I'd love to see him beat Pacquiao. I think he's entitled to it, man. It's his right to fight him. And I think he could take him, man. And, what was it? Oh, yeah, fuck. See, so long ago I've been on the hold. Broner, you're talking about Broner fighting at 140. When is the last time Broner actually fought at the contracted weight at 140 and actually stuck to it, miss? One time in the last 4 fights? Right? So you're wanting him to fight at 140. That's not right. I could go into so many other things because, you said so many things that were just totally off topic today and wrong. I'm going to end with this, man. I just want to say one thing about Boxing MD. I think rather than trying to defend boxers that look like you and have the same color of skin as you, you should defend the fighters that fight under your flag, man, and your country. You should be more proud. And you should take note from guys like MV2 and Wingy and Stewart and all those guys. They love their country, man. They back their fighters. You should do the same. You have so many great fighters that fight under your flag. Be proud, man. That's all I got to say. Peace.
All right, Jose. Spewing his patriotism around, wanting people to back their home countries.
I know a amigo who will charge you zero and throw you a kilo. Woo! I bet in a week, bro, your pockets be stuffed like Chipotle burritos.
What's up, guys? AB here.
Hey, B, what up?
Hey, Wingy, how are you?
Wingy stepped away, but he'll be back.
So I just want to say one thing. Start off with this point. When the Kovalev-Hopkins fight happened, okay, a lot of people, the same people that were saying, half of the callers and half of the media and the trainers had Hopkins winning that fight, okay? And all of a sudden, Kovalev beats Hopkins, and now all of a sudden, Hopkins is an old bum. Because that's what, example, this is the fight doctor who just called in saying that, he had Hopkins beating Kovalev 8-4. When the show happened, and now all of a sudden Kovalev is the can crusher. So I mean, you guys are hypocrites. This is to the casual fans that hear this voice, and to the callers that call in and flip flop. You know what I mean? The same guys that had Hopkins winning the fight, all of a sudden are calling in and discrediting Kovalev's win against Hopkins. And the reason I brought this up is you guys were talking about the whole pound for pound, and it's an important topic because I could, every time Kovalev's resume gets brought up, people are discrediting Hopkins.
Get him, AB. Get him, AB. Get him, AB.
The Hopkins win is a much better win than the Postol win, because even though Hopkins was 49 years old, he was still, he was a champ. He was beating guys, and he was what was it like? Kovalev was a slight favorite going into the fight.
I think it's a better win as well. I agree.
And then regarding pound for pound, I've never really been in the guy that's like always about the resumes when it comes to pound for pound, because like if you look at someone like Garcia, I can't have him on the pound for pound because he clearly lost to Mauricio Herrera. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that. Everybody agrees pretty much that Herrera won that fight. And I've always looked at pound for pound as how dominating are you in your wins against your peers? If you're having close fights, and you're kind of barely scraping by, like, I don't consider that pound for pound. I consider pound for pound like you're going in there and you're dominating your peers, and it's not even close, and you're cleaning out the division. You know, so that's like my definition. You know, that's the way that I've always looked at pound for pound. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I ordered the fight, and you know what? I can't believe anybody could say this was like such a great, entertaining fight, because it was a whitewash, and after the 4th round, you know, I mean, it was not a competitive fight. So, you know,
AB.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, good to hear you on the call, man. You know, I've always been asking for you to come on, man. So it's good to hear you on. Even though you're my boy, I do have to say you did pick Postol, because I can remember when I was gaming a couple of weeks ago, I was listening to the old shows, and you did pick Postol. So have you had your crow?
No, he has not. Trying to sneak off.
No, I'm not going against him, but he did pick Postol.
Yeah, you know, I actually, even if you read, I said, look, I may be wrong, but you know, I got Postol, but I just couldn't root against Postol. You know, it is what it is.
Why you
know
didn't
what I
call in and get your crows? I mean, you know that's tradition. Like, you go on this tangent about Fight Doctor and Bernard Hopkins. What about your crow, buddy?
I thought you knew you were supposed to play it.
You don't want your porridge?
Play it.
Anyway, AB, guess what? 4 minutes.
Cut it.
I couldn't give my boy AB some more minutes, man. I was away. I missed the first part of that.
Mick Gomez, you're up.
Yo, what up, Ness?
What up? What up?
What up? Hey, Wingy, what the fuck? Hey, James, what up? Yo, you already know. I'm coming here to celebrate. I'm coming here to celebrate because I already told you he was that next level shit. It wasn't for Postol today. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't for Postol. It's all right. He tried. We saw it. You know what I'm saying? But he showed he's that next level. Anyway, did Georgie call in? Because he needs a big bowl of crow, bro. I don't know how you going to cook it up for him, but he needs it.
He never calls in. He never calls in when he got a pit. When he got
Did he pick Postol?
TB of the TBV,
Nah,
bro.
he's on the line. He's
You know
on the
what I'm
line.
saying?
He's on the line. I ain't gonna lie. He's
Nah,
on the line.
Nah, but listen, and that AB stuff, let's not even do that to AB. You know what I'm saying? We love him. He's good. He's popular. Fantastic. But put him in the ring with Terence Crawford, and he's gonna get chopped up. Even worse than our dude yesterday. So let's not even do that to him.
But if you want to make Terence a star, you got to put him with someone out, you know, that's gonna pump up the fight. Yo, that would be a big fight.
100%. It would be a huge fight, but I don't see AB taking that fight. If AB takes that fight and he do his damn thing, we got to give him 100% respect. But I don't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? He talk a big game, but against Terence Crawford, it would be a big day for him. It would be a tall order. You get what I'm saying? He can't do that pot shot and shit with Terence Crawford.
I agree.
2 seconds.
I agree.
You already know. I ain't got nothing else to say here. The pound for pound thing, he'll prove his pound for pound if they put him in with Pacquiao. That's all I can really say about it. I don't think Pacquiao has the youth to beat him. That's what I see. And the only way that you can make greatness is by beating greatness. So you got to put him in there with somebody great, and in order to put him on the pound for pound list. That's the only way you can put him on there. So
right.
you got to get him up there.
And yo, Mick Gomez, thanks for calling in. That's a call. You see, like, how do you put somebody in pound for pound list? You got to get in there. You got to earn it. Like, you can't just give him a golden Willy Wonka ticket into the fucking pound for pound. Victor the truck driver. Victor.
Oh, hey, Nestor.
What up?
Ness. Hey, brother. Hey, man, I was falling asleep, man.
Damn.
Hey.
Thanks. Thanks for the kind words.
I didn't watch the fight, man, because I don't think it was worthy.
Oh, you didn't think it was worthy? Damn, Victor, why you always got a bad phone, Victor? You became the new Wood.
I watched a little bit of clip of the little
Victor, you there?
The show between Postal Crawford.
Yo, Victor, you gotta not use your speaker or your what he bought himself? He got I forgot what he got. Mini Cooper. Don't use the Mini Cooper Bluetooth, buddy. Shiloh from Michigan, talk to us.
Yo, what's up?
What up, Shiloh?
Not much, man. Thanks for taking the call.
No doubt.
First off, I want to say, man, that was a beautiful performance by Terence Crawford. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of his fights kind of resemble the Mayweather-Mosley fight, the Mayweather-Zab Judah fight. Kind of takes a couple shots at the beginning, then he figures them out and just straight dominates till the end. And then Crawford confused the hell out of Postol's head, man. He had no idea what to do. He didn't expect Crawford to have that kind of power, so you can tell he was scared to attack Crawford. He let Crawford do whatever he wanted all night.
What do you think about Crawford against Pacquiao?
There was one round where Postol only landed one shot the whole fight, and it was like at the end of the round where Crawford like basically stopped her.
What do you think about Crawford against Pacquiao, brother?
Oh, I think that'd be an awesome match, definitely. I think they're gonna have Pacquiao fight probably Vargas or somebody next just to build up the Pacquiao Crawford fight. So I think they'll probably do. But anytime Crawford Pacquiao for fans like us is a good time for that.
Cool.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. That would be the best thing that they do. Give Crawford like a Vargas. But if Crawford's already saying Pacquiao's got to fight him at 140, looks like he's gonna be staying with that with those two titles at 140. So yeah. You know what I was thinking though, Wingy? Everybody's talking this pound for pound, this Pacquiao shit. Mikey Garcia's back, and he's campaigning at 140. Mikey Garcia holds a win over Terence Crawford in the amateurs. I'm just saying.
True. I want to see what he's got. He had a bit of time out, so we need to see what he's got. But
yeah, he's playing July 30th, and I think they hold the win over each other before some hipster calls in saying I don't know what I'm talking about. 602. Actually, no, 602. We'll be right back to you, AZ. Don't worry about it. We got somebody on Skype been holding for a while, and he's calling from the UK. EJ Boxing Live. What's going on, brother?
Bruh, I'm about to burn, bro. I'm going to burn you guys up over there, man. First off, I want to know the numbers. I'm going to go hard. Like, what's the numbers for the pay-per-view before I start?
There's really no numbers. I mean, you know, there's numbers flowing on the internet everywhere from 35 to 80.
All right, cool. All right, first off, history lesson.
90 seconds.
The last time there was a unification between unification bar at 140 was Tim Bradley and David Alexander, right? They went on to that. Another thing as well, we're talking about is he a pay-per-view star, but hold on a minute. Golovkin and David Lemieux, everyone was hyping, water in their mouth over that fight, but when Terence Crawford fights Viktor Postol, ain't pay-per-view, that should be pay-per-view. Another thing, you were talking about Shiminaka, not anyway in the list. Anyway, and Shiminaka shouldn't be in the list. They shouldn't be in the pound-for-pound list. Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound in the boxing, the most skilled fighter in the sport. No one could tell me nothing. Fight of the year with Gamboa. Talking about Ring Magazine at 135 and 140. Beat the most dangerous guy in the division and made it look like a baby. You can't tell me that guy is not the best pound-for-pound guy in the sport, bro. No one else. Triple G beating them guys there. That's not the same, bro. He went to Scotland and beat Rick Burns, yeah, over here, right? And since then, who he wrapped up? Delorme, Hank Lundy, Beltran, bro. That you gotta give it to him, no doubt. That performance was one of the best performances I've ever seen. I swear down. It looked like Floyd versus Diego Corrales when
10 seconds.
When he knocked down Diego Corrales, yeah, with one of them left took at the start of the 4th round. Pound for pound, #1, Terence Bud Crawford. Yo, come talk to me. No one could tell me nothing. The American style runs boxing. Everyone knows in the UK that all the UK fighters, James DeGale, you're talking about Lee Selby, they all adapted the American style of fighting. You all should be happy, yeah. Bob Arum and Al Heyman are together. Al Heyman must have whispered in Bob Arum's ear and told him straight away that, you know, we need to pick up the American fighters. Bomb the European fighters, yeah? You need to start picking up your American fighters. What did Jim Langley try to push when they were bigging up Terence Crawford? Oh, Sergio Kovalev and Triple G. And they came back with it. But look what Terence Bud was doing, man. Bro, American style is one of the best style of fighting. You got Cuban style, American style, and you have European style. European style, that guy looked like Vladimir Klitschko in the ring, waving his jab around. Look what he did to that. He switched southpaw and caught it. Bro, hey, I'm not even saying no more. Terence Bud Crawford, pound for pound, #1 in boxing. I'm done.
Great call, man. That was a good call. Can't get mad at him. Arizona, we back at you. Arizona, 602.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's happening?
All right, let me take you on speaker. Give me a second.
About the jab, you be.
Yeah, man. Who was that last caller, EJ?
Yeah.
EJ smoking weed, man. What the hell is he talking about?
What didn't you agree with?
He just said Crawford's #1?
Yeah, he said #1 in the world.
Pound for pound in the world, yeah.
Oh my God. There's only two guys that have the case to be #1. That's Andre Ward and Chocolatito. That's it. Nobody else. 2 best resumes in boxing. 2 more skilled fighters in boxing. Period. EJ needs, if he continues like that, he needs to stop that podcast he has. What the hell is he talking about, man? As far as Postol and Crawford did his thing. I thought Postol, what was Postol doing? Like, I tweeted last night that Postol was better off letting Crawford come to him. He was trying to chase him like he was a pressure fighter. He was getting counter the entire night, and I thought he should have let Crawford come to him, and just pop in with a jab coming in. But I guess Crawford was able to dictate the pace. As far as and I'm looking forward for you guys to doing that pound for pound show too. That'll be great. Everybody. And I don't want, as far as what's this guy's name? The fight doctor. I know he's top 5 pound for pound. All black fighters, I bet. Ward, Regal, Crawford. Who else? But yeah, man, you guys doing a great job. Is James still there?
He's not. But what is your name?
I'm Michael from Arizona, man.
Michael.
I'm under Nicoya under Twitter.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate you. All right, we're gonna keep going down the line. I know there's a lot of you guys. I know you've been waiting a long time. There is an order. We're not skipping anyone, so don't get your britches in a bunch, all right? We're getting to you. And
Crow will be served. Don't try and duck your Crow. It is going to be served.
Exactly. And also, if you don't like the wait.
Fuck you. Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't play Showtime. See you all there not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. Fuck you. I want to see two motherfuckers just fight. I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Fuck you. Don't need that shit. You don't love that form I do? Fuck you. Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next. What great show. Thumbs up, donate.
What's happening?
Hey, yo, before you play that Crow, man, let me make my case here. This shit was a robbery, man.
No. Don't be...
Wait. Wingy, let him go.
Yep, sorry, go.
Hey, yo, fucking Bob Iron, that motherfucker, he got together with fucking Bill Cosby and they roofie Postol, nigga. For copping there.
It's the mafia.
The mafia, somebody roofie that nigga. That nigga was slipping. That's what happened with Postol. That was his twin brother. Holy shit, talking about not putting an effort. Nigga was confused. Yo, give me that crow with the gunshots and everything, man.
Gunshots? That's what you sound like, making excuses.
Hey, yo,
But this nigga, man, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I gave that nigga 1 round. How many rounds you guys gave him?
2. I think 2. I think.
2-1. Nobody giving that. You can't find a motherfucker who give you 3 rounds. That Crawford just dominated the fuck out of him. The dude was like out of his league. Straight up, everything. I mean, the fucking Roy Jones and all these niggas saying that the dude only got 1 right hand, and guess what? That's all he got. It was so true. Like, they talking about how fucking Freddie Roach is the #1 dude back-to-back years and shit, training and whatnot, but my nigga, it's like, I know you cannot make a fighter and certain things you got to be born with, but I was expecting more. All that fucking friend, that nigga Soto, all that reach and all that shit didn't mean anything. Nothing whatsoever. This nigga's angle and movement just fucking traumatized him. And he got me here eating crow. What kind of fucked up shit is that, man? Got a reputation to fucking hold. And this nigga gonna do me like that? Fuck Postol, man. I'm back in that nigga no more. That's it. I'm done with that. Shit.
Who do you want to see Crawford fight next, man?
Yeah, my nigga.
Georgie, who do you want to see Crawford fight next?
Yo, my nigga, I gotta give you my props to staying here on TVB, because definitely we really needed you. Everybody out there, we like 5 fucking times fucking away from another show. Throw the fucking thumbs down, like 300 motherfuckers out there, and nigga not throwing the thumbs up. The fuck? But
Yo, Georgie.
Bro, let you guys be, because I know you guys busy and shit.
Georgie.
Yo.
Such a delay with you, man. Forgot the delay was so long. I forgot what I was going to ask you, man. Oh yeah, what do you want to see Crawford do next?
Crawford should chill the fuck back. If I'm Crawford, I got those 2 fucking mafia belts, nigga. I'm sitting pretty. I ain't calling nobody out. I'm letting everybody line up to me. I'm the man to talk to now.
Okay, all right.
Last show title said it was a start to be born. Guess what? Motherfucker was born yesterday, so it is the start. So I wouldn't even like, who I would like to see him? I don't think nobody can fuck with him on some Triple G shit. Like, he's dominating the division, right? So if we Crawford move to 147, that would be great for the sport. So who the fuck gonna beat him on 140? Who?
Well, what about Pacquiao if he gets dragged down?
Mikey Garcia.
Mikey Garcia ain't getting in there. You crazy. You crazy. You think that nigga put 2 years and a half away of his life to take that fucking challenge?
Yo.
Nigga, well, please. That ain't happening.
Mikey.
It's not happening.
Mikey is one of the people that call Cameron Duncan to tell Cameron Duncan about Terence Crawford.
He ain't fighting no Terence Crawford, B. You ain't seen that shit maybe like 2 years from now. That shit not even real, man. That's straight up dreaming. You hoping, wishing on the star for that. Nigga, that ain't happening. That would be great. I think he's going to move on. Watch it. He's going to move on like in the next year. Maybe a couple defenses, and that's it. But, yo, great show. Thumbs up and support. Give me that fucking free show, man. I want to see that fucking spontaneous shit.
Well, we got to get to that 200 before we out. Georgie, thanks for calling in. We're going to go to Ben Umar calling in on the Skype. Ben Umar, what up?
What up, Nick? Yo, tell me why every time I listen to this nigga Georgie, I think of government cheese and spam, my nigga. This nigga's crazy, bro. But what's the topic?
This weekend's fights.
What specifically are you on? Just Crawford or Valdez?
Well, we on Crawford. Basically, Crawford, is he pound for pound? A lot of people saying he's top 5 pound for pound. You know, people want to see him versus Manny Pacquiao. So yeah, that's about it.
I don't give a fuck. Like Georgie said, the one point he did make that I completely agree with. Niggas got to come see Crawford now. He ain't got to go see nobody. Pacquiao on his way out. If Pacquiao come, then yeah, obviously take that fight. But niggas got to come see him. So at 140, who else is left at 140, my nigga? Like, who's down there? That's a name. Like, really, though, I on some real shit, you know me, I know my boxing. I can't even think of the other champions. Who got the IBF in the motherfucking WBA down there? You know?
I think it's Broner and Ramsey. I'm gonna double
Nah,
check.
Ramsey's maybe.
Broner's number 4, but he gave up the belt, but he's still ranked at number 4. Lucas number 5. Some guy named Edward Tranvonsky, number 3.
Say no more, nigga. Say no more. We don't know these niggas. And Broner done went up to 147 because he gave up the belt when he didn't make way for Ashley Theophane. So I mean, I don't know who got the WBA. I think the shit vacant. I don't know. But I want to talk the Oscar Valdez, man. The way he blew out fucking Wader was beautiful, man. I don't know how many people talking about that fight. That was a fight that I really liked. I ain't never seen this little nigga before. My homie Nanta was schooling me on him. He told me it was gonna be some shit. And when I watched that, the way he blew homeboy out was beautiful, man. That's the fight that I really enjoyed because I knew what Crawford was gonna do with Postol, man. I knew it was just, it's levels to this shit, nigga. You know how that go.
Yeah, but I mean, with that being said, there's levels to it. I mean, you didn't think that this guy, this offspring of fucking what is those guys' name? Bert and Ernie. Is it Bert and Ernie?
Let's go back to that, man. Don't go back to that.
I mean, it's the truth. Like, I don't know why people like overhyping this Valdez win. Like, yeah, Valdez looked good, but like, yo, it's as good as Felix Verdejo looks versus his little foreign competition. His Brazilians he beat.
Rueda, I believe Rueda had knocked everything out coming into that fight.
Yeah, just like
he had a good record, but I didn't know any of the names. I didn't know none of the names.
Like every other Argentine. Click on any Argentine's name. Look, here goes one.
Hey, nigga, I can't argue with you. When it comes to them Argentinian niggas, they got padded records like a motherfucker.
They all got knockouts, man. Everybody from Argentina supposedly got power till they come over here and then they ain't got power. I mean, Maidana has lived up to this. And Matisse, it was kind of a fluctuation with him, up and down, no?
Nigga, you already know what had happened with Matisse, nigga. Me and Ness been telling y'all niggas for years that Danny was gonna give Matisse that work. So eat that crow for the rest of your fucking lives, you punk ass niggas, because niggas was hating on Danny, and niggas told you years ago Danny was gonna give him that work.
Danny need another win. He's looking bad right now.
Yeah, nigga, we ain't worried about Danny. Danny chilling right now, man. Never been a lame-o. All that good shit. He chilling right now. We good, Ness.
Hey, man. I mean, some pretty big boys calling him out.
Just stop loving Triple G, my nigga. Cause you was loving Triple G for a second. Don't let me fuck with you on that, nigga.
Hey, man, I just like good fights. But listen, I'm going to get to some other callers. Thank you for calling in. As always, we're going straight down the line. We got 310. You're live.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, all right, yeah. Man, I don't know how people fucking saying that Terence Crawford is pound for pound. That motherfucker, just last week we were having a hard time finding what good fighters he's fought. I mean, who? Henry Hank Lundy? Fucking the only ones we could find was now Viktor Postol and Gamboa. Besides that, he hasn't really fought nobody to be in pound for pound. If you're gonna put fucking Terence Crawford pound for pound, you gotta put in Danny Garcia. That's what I think. I think his resume is a lot better. But anyways, I don't really want to see fucking Terence Crawford move up yet. You know what I'm saying? I want to see 2 fights. I want to see him against Amir Ahman. I think he'll take him. He'll take him out, knockout. I know he lost like 2 fights ago. He lost, but I don't know, man. I think he just kind of underestimated his opponent. Probably thought, probably didn't even train for that fight. But I think he could take him out. And then also that Mikey Garcia. I think that'll be a pretty interesting fight. The Pacquiao fight, it'll be a good fight, but I don't really want to see Pacquiao no more. Like, with all the shit he's been pulling, like fucking Bradley, fucking 3, I'm just tired of that shit. I'm tired of seeing rematches, and I just think fucking Pacquiao could fight someone better, like fucking Keith Thurman, someone like fucking Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Kell Brooks. Well, Kell Brooks already going to middleweight, so I don't know. That's how I see it. And yeah, man, I don't know what you guys think. Who else is up at 140? That'll be a good challenge for Terence Crawford.
I think Broner is the name, which is quite interesting. But for me, that's more about the build-up of the fight. The actual technical aspect, once they're in the ring, I don't know. What do you think about the Broner fight? Do you think that'd be any good for Crawford, or as in profile-wise?
You know, I think mostly everyone is right. Broner did lose that belt and did say he was not going to be fighting at that weight. Now with this jail sentence, he's for sure can't make 140 or not in the immediate future. Now, as far as the caller mentioning Amir Iman is somewhere ranked in top 20, but around number 19. So I don't know why, Terence or HBO would allow or approve Amir Iman versus Terence Crawford. Now, Crawford being a darling, maybe he could get that off, but I don't know. We're going to keep going down the line. We got Josue from the Lower Oregon.
Hey, yo, what up, Ness? Hey, first of all, I need Crow, big time. So if you want to serve me that up. Yeah, that's right, man. Well, Terrence, he looked, he's something special, man, and his future looks bright, so can't wait to see him next. And you guys are saying, what could be possibly next for Terence Crawford, and I wouldn't mind seeing, what about a John Molina Jr. fight? Like, would that be that would be a fun fight? I mean, he can, Molina just coming off the Ruslan Provodnikov win, so that's kind of, that's a pretty good, fun fight. And but yeah, man, that's my call. And Terrence looked great, and thank you for having me on.
Hold on, before you go.
Go ahead.
Manny Pacquiao. Crawford. Speak to me.
No Manny Pacquiao. Fuck Manny Pacquiao.
I remember you saying that last time. You love Pacquiao, Hall of Famer.
He's got a killer feedback too. Let me see here. Oh, they said Ricky Burns is the WBA champion at 140 now. Is that true?
Oh, of course, you took it off the Italian guy. I forgot his name.
Well, Ricky Burns. Oh, they got him at number 13 on BoxRec. That's what it is. That's why I can't find him. 5:30. You're up.
Hey fellas, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Yeah, this is Cali Crown Holder.
Oh, Cali Crown Holder. What's up?
Anyway, I picked Crawford, but I put the 100 on Postol. I've done worse things with $100, I'm sure. Whoa! Why I get the Crow?
Yo, you know how? It's not good to lose $100, man.
So you got Crow regardless.
Yo, get Crow. Because you put your money.
Worse with $100, right?
You put your money where your mind was. That's all. That's what you did. Like you used your mouth on the show, but your mind where your money, and it's like hurt your pockets now.
No. You pick with your heart, you bet with your mind. Come on, you can't turn down a plus 550.
He's pushing that plated Crow back towards you, man.
Yo, we specifically asked, was Vegas crazy, so you could pose the question to yourself. How many times has Vegas been crazy? They set y'all up for that. They suckered you right in.
Whatever, man. Anyway, I got the result I really wanted anyway. I like Terence Crawford, but you better move up to 147 before he gets them Mikey Garcia problems, because I don't think he wants Mikey Garcia.
Good fight. That is a good fight.
But
intelligent caller so far.
What?
Nah, just saying he was
but in answer to the question earlier you guys posed about Errol Spence, I don't think he wants Errol Spence either. Like, I think Errol Spence is like he looks big in there. He looks like a 154 in there against 147. After the rehydrate, he looks bigger than everybody he fights. And I think he'd be too big for Terence Crawford. But other than that, I think Terence Crawford will compete good against the rest of the 147s. I think he beats Broner. I think he beats Danny Garcia. I think he probably loses the Keith, but I think he beats Sean Porter. I think pretty much other than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, I think he beats everybody in 147. And, about the Lomachenko thing people were talking about, if they think that Salido loss was valid, then they didn't watch the fight, because that refereeing was horrible and there was nothing but a bunch of low blows in that fight. Salido was just crotch punching him most of the fight. And, I mean, it was his third professional fight. He's fighting a veteran like Salido and getting crotch punched the whole time. Come on, man. That loss is invalid. But I do think Crawford's top 10 pound for pound. I don't know if he's top 5 or not, but I think he's done just as much as Chocolatito has. I mean, everybody talks about Chocolatito's resume, but I don't know any man at 112 pounds. I know a bunch of girls at 112 pounds, but I don't know 112 pounds. So I mean, like, I think until he moves up and fights Rigo, then I mean, I don't really see what he's got that makes him top 10 pound for pound. I mean, I know it sounds kind of ignorant, but I mean, that 112 division, like, I don't know anybody there. The only guy who I kind of knew was Brian Valoria, but when he beat him, everybody said he was past his prime. So, I mean, I don't really get it. I don't get the hype behind Chocolatito, really. But I do think this fight on the Crawford and Postol shows, like, how special Triple G is at cutting off the ring. Because he really is, like, only him and Julio Cesar Chavez I've seen who cut off the ring like that. And so it's real easy to take that for granted until you find somebody like Crawford and somebody can't cut the ring off. So, yeah. I mean, I know his fight with Brooks going to be bullshit, but you got to give him credit the way he cuts off the ring on people. And so when you see a fighter like Postol who can't, you know, it makes you appreciate it more. And last point, Freddie Roach has got to take some blame because none of his fighters ever got a plan B. They only have a plan A, and if that plan A goes bad, it's just keep doing plan A and we'll ride this out and hope we don't get knocked out. Because for a trainer who trains that many fighters and not have a single fighter who can adapt and have a plan B or a plan C, they get picked apart every time by a fighter who can outthink them. But that's all, guys. Thanks.
All right, Cali Crown Holder. And I just want to say, during that call, Wingy, I don't know if I said it already, but I guess we got to the 200 and above. We're at 211. So now we just got to wait for Wingy's best available day so we could get it on and, you know, formulate this pound for pound show. And I guess we'll use each caller as a voter, right? So what we need to do is categorize. We're gonna have to categorize some.
Yeah, we need a proper discussion on that. We need a proper discussion.
Yeah. We're gonna. But please send us your emails if you have any sort of suggestions on live ranking. Is basically what we will be doing. So that being said, let me go to some more callers. 612, you're live. 612.
What up? This is BJ calling out of Minnesota.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Oh, not a thing. But I just wanted to give my few pieces of information on the fight. I mean, it was a complete, I won't say dominance because, I mean, it wasn't one of those things where he just completely just obliterated him. I mean, he took him to school. I'll say that. He gave him a nice boxing lesson, and which was, for the most part, expected. But as far as him being top 5 pound for pound, we all know that that's HBO propaganda just to hype him up for Pacquiao. We all know that. All purists and hardcores know that. Now, is he in the top 10? He's scratching the surface, yes. And I think that happens when he does fight Pacquiao. And if he beats him, then he's on that list. But the old saying is, to be considered one of the best, you have to beat the best. And that's been an old saying, and it's always going to remain true. I mean, that's just how it is in any sport. And it's also relative in boxing. But the Pacquiao fight and the Crawford fight, yes, I think he is ready for him right now. I think that he does give him complications because of his footwork and because of the fact that he can switch stances. But I would still give it to Pacquiao in a split decision. But overall, he is ready for him, and I think he would even test Pacquiao. He would even give him some trouble. But I think Pacquiao pulls it out. But that's my call.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in, man. Good call. 812, could this be Joey?
Yeah, what's up, man? Sorry, man. I had a long day at work today, man.
Man, you sound exhausted.
Yeah, a little bit, man. I still got to go to the gym tonight, too, man.
Damn.
But, it's cool, man. But, hey, man, I do need some crow, though, man, because, so go ahead and give me that real quick. picked Santana to beat Benavidez, man, and I really thought that fight was a draw. To me personally, that was the most exciting fight on the card. I really liked Santana's style and how he just kept coming forward. But Benavidez, to me, man, he's decent, man. But I think he needs to hit that training or his cardio up a little bit more, man. Because he looked in shape, but it looked like he was getting tired after like 4 or 5 rounds. Going to Crawford though, man. I know a lot of people complaining a little bit that the fight wasn't exciting, but man, I tip my hat off to Crawford, man. He's if I was to mold a perfect fighter or close to a perfect fighter, I mean, he would fit a lot of that because the characteristics he has, dude, he's got everything, man. He can switch up on you. He's got some pop to his punches. He's powerful. I mean, he's got speed, good defense, and he's hard to figure out, man, and he adjusts on the fly. So I think he really demonstrated a great boxing skills last night. Postol looked like he wanted it, man, but I just feel the caller nailed it a couple of calls ago, man. Freddie Roach, after Plan A, it's like there's nothing there. You're supposed to be a world-class trainer. You know, give him something, man, because I think this after, like, when he got knocked down, there was still time when he could have turned the fight around, but I just felt like Freddie didn't give him enough good information in that corner, man. I don't know if it's Freddie just, you know, he always saying his fighters is going for the knockout, man, but I don't really buy into Freddie no more. But no, that's a shout out to Bruce from Pittsburgh for getting that show together, man. Hopefully we can encourage some more callers to start, you know, throwing that out there. The more likes we get, you know, people will start throwing up some shows, man. So
Joey, before you go, Joey.
What's up, Wingy?
What's up, bro? Just ask you a quick question about the Benavidez fight. What do you think his issue is with always sitting on the ropes like that? I can see when he's in the center of the ring, his box is really nice. But why do you think he sits on the ropes like that so much?
Me personally, man, if I had to guess, I don't know, man. I think he gave a lot into the first 2 rounds. Like I don't want to say punched himself out, but maybe he thought he was going to get Santana out of there.
Yeah.
He had Santana out of there, and I guess he got surprised by how Santana kept coming forward. But I think he used a lot of those power punches early and just got gassed. But he looked like he was in great shape, so I just don't know. I don't know if he just he hasn't been tested enough. But I still think he needs a little bit more tougher opposition before we can put him up there. And Wingy, that's what I wanted to ask you. I know I'm short on time. Wingy, I want to ask you, if you was Postol's corner, if you was Freddie Roach, what would you have adjusted? What kind of adjustments would you have made in that corner?
I don't know. It's a difficult one because even when Postol was walking forward, he was still getting caught and clipped. I did like how Postol, it was the 12th round when he actually went forward and made a fight of it. But then again, that's putting himself into harm's way. I'm not too sure, man. There's too much. It's a difficult one. I would have liked to see Postol take that risk, step forward a little bit more, especially after the first 4 or 5 rounds. He's going to have to put himself in firing range. It's a championship fight. See what he can take, see what he can press, even make things a little bit ugly. Try and hold him up. Just take Crawford out of his rhythm. But me sitting here saying that's easy. If you get enraged, you're going to get popped.
Yeah.
But you have to take that risk, don't you?
Wingy, I know why. Hey, Wingy, I know why you're fired up today. You had David Hay reply to you yesterday, man. That's big things right there, man.
Nez's face. Nez just went, what? Yeah, man, that was cool. Yeah, I've got a shout from David Hay, randomly, man.
Yeah, but Nez, I hope we get that pound for pound show, man, because you guys are really you're probably gonna give me a whole bunch of gunshots on my pound for pound list, Nez. So I'll save my pound for pound list for that show, man. But Nez, real quick, did you enjoy the fights last night?
I enjoyed the Valdez fight and the Crawford fight. Yeah.
What did you think of Benavidez, Nez?
You know, he kind of pisses me off. He's like such a big guy with all his body in range, and he bends over, gives up his height, rather be a brawler. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, I kind of like lose something for a guy that doesn't want to use his brain. That stubbornness upsets me. So
cool.
That's where I'm at, unfortunately. But
he
got the win, right?
Before I go, Crawford and Pacquiao, I do want to see that. I really do want to see Crawford versus Pacquiao. I think it's something new. You know, it's time. You know, we got so used to the Bradleys and the Pacquiaos, but it's just a new matchup, and I would love to see that matchup.
Well, all right, Joy. Let me get to some other callers here. 215, you're up. 215.
Hey, yo, what's going on, Boxing Voice? Good
What
show
up?
as usual. It's your boy B from Jersey, Ryan. I just want to say about the Crawford fight, I would say that was like a virtuoso performance. I mean, when you can move like that, I thought Crawford did everything I thought he was going to do, but I did not know that his defense got short up. He didn't get hit with anything hard. His defense looked really great, and his footwork was really, really good. I would say that was a Floyd Mayweather-esque type of performance last night. He looked good. I think he would give Manny Pacquiao a good fight at 140. At 140, I think he would beat Manny because his style of movement and also catching you with that right hand, he does have pop. I don't think Manny's the same fighter he's been all these years, and he's there for the taking, if you ask me. But it should be on Crawford's terms. That's the biggest thing Crawford's got to be. Hey, this has got to be on my terms. I'll fight you, but on my terms. Because right now, Pacquiao has his name to offer, but, you know, belts is bullshit, so I'm really not going to talk about belts. But, I mean, right now, Crawford is on the rise. He's definitely on the rise. He's definitely in my top 10. He looked really good. And one thing, and I've been hashing this over since I've been listening to the show, and I heard people with different opinions, and I want to hear you guys' opinions, and I'm going to get out of here real quick. But I do think that Crawford could beat Broner. I really do, because Broner, if you think about Broner's footwork is not that great, and Broner's not that active with his punches. So I definitely see Bud just being able to do more, just outmaneuver him, fight when he wants to fight, press when he wants to press, and, you know, do his thing.
Yep, I agree. Broner's just, as you said, he plants himself too much. I see Crawford maybe having a few early rounds just to see what's going on, but once he starts pushing, I can see Broner just taking shots, boom, boom, boom. I can't see it any other way, but I do like the build-up, at the very least.
Me too. That's what I would like, you know, and it would be like, you know, like the caller said, I think it would be a fight where Crawford would at least be the favorite. So, yeah, all right. So we got a first-time caller here, and we're going to go out to the Skype machine, and his name is, well, he'll tell you his name after the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
This is Jeff from Brockton.
What's going on, Jeff?
What's going on? You know, first-time caller. I've been watching the show for a while. Yeah, like I said, I'm from Brockton, the original 49-0, Rocky Marciano, and Marvin Hagler. You know, that's what we're known for. But to talk about this fight, one thing I take away is the trainer, Freddie Roach. In every big match, he doesn't come through. Mayweather-Pacquiao, loss. Cotto, Canelo, loss. He tried to help out Jean Pascal, loss. Now with Postol, this fight, he lost. Like, a lot of big fights, he doesn't come through. He's just like a name for a trainer and just there for a check. I don't really think he really provides that much help. I can't really name the last big fight that he came through and actually won. I don't know if you guys could name. But that's the main takeaway I took from this fight.
Jeff, where you calling from?
Brockton, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I know I've been saying it. Like, Freddie Roach has been getting a lot of high praise for a long time, but until Pacquiao is gone, he's always going to be known as a world-renowned trainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. That was my call. You know, I love you guys, your show. I'll keep listening, but I've been noticing that like the main big fights that he hasn't really been coming through.
Well, all right, man. Thank you for calling in. I believe we have another first-time caller, so I'm going to go ahead and play that intro again. Could you mute yourself, Jeff?
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Hello?
Hello?
You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man, it's my first time on the show, and thanks for having me.
No problem, brother. Where you calling from?
I'm Birmingham, England. I got through for years from Wingy. through the Wingy channel. That's how I got here.
Nice, nice.
Nice one, bro.
Big respect to Wingy.
Big up, brother.
And everyone on the show. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Like I was saying about the last man who was just saying about Freddie Roach. Yeah, he bring, like, back in the day, have you noticed the way his health deteriorating? Like, these fighters are dropping, like, their standards of performances during fights, Pacquiao included.
Yeah,
agreed.
Definitely.
And, like, we put a lot of slate on him, but we have to feel like what he's going through as well. We also have to praise him. But I don't agree the fighter of the years has been getting when there's other fighters around the world that do deserve a great shout out. Also, lads, I'd like to get your perspective on, like, I've got 4 fighters here, and I want you to, like, put them in a rank for me where you think they stand. Okay, we got Furman, we got Crawford,
yep,
we got Danny Garcia, and we
Yep.
got Brook. I know Brook's going up 1. I know Crawford's down a weight, but the way they can all mingle up and down, it's very interesting there because it's like we've got 4 very elite fighters in their, like, half of their prime of their life. So where would you put them if there was to like fight?
Brook, Thurman, Danny Garcia, and what was the other one again?
Brook, Furman, Danny Garcia, and Crawford.
I would have to go Brook, then I'd have to go Thurman, then I'd have to go Crawford, then I'd go Danny Garcia.
Really, would you have Crawford over Danny Garcia strictly on skills or what you've seen from him?
Strictly on skills, yeah. Basically, what I'm not gonna say the old ET, the eye test, yeah. That I would put him above, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think he's got more in the tank. I think he's got the potential to do more. Hold on, I think he's got the potential to do more. I just feel where Danny is at the moment. Don't forget, I rated Danny in the last show, Ness, but I just think he's got the potential to do more. Whereas where Danny is right now, I think that's the peak of his style. Whereas I think Crawford can achieve, and grow.
And so, how far do you think Crawford can go? This is to Nez. I want to ask your opinion on this because I do value your opinion as well. As like, I want to know where can you see Crawford going, and can you see him pursuing through all the weights, like possibly to like junior middleweight or middleweight, should we say?
You asking me this?
Yeah, I'm asking you, mate.
Oh man, junior middleweight, 154. I don't know. When I met him, he's pretty tall. What is he listed at? Is he 5'10"? He's about 5'10"?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just under 5'10", isn't he? Even to be precise.
Man, I don't know. Junior middleweight. I don't think so. I don't think he'll go up that high. Maybe 147 is where he'll top out.
Yeah, I was thinking the same myself, but because I've heard rumours of Pacquiao as well going up on his next fight.
Crawford's 5'8" according to BoxRec, 5'8".
And then again, Floyd did, he did, I guess, moonlight at 154. Who knows? Maybe for a super fight, Crawford could do the same.
Yeah, I was thinking that. And as you was talking as Mayweather as well, how would you see, wouldn't it be, what a brilliant fight. I hope anyone agrees with me. Mayweather and Crawford, the skill set on show. I know, like, it'd be probably, like, boring to the people that don't, like, who want knockouts and that, but to me, a proper boxing fan, like the Sweet Science, imagine them two in a ring together.
I mean, if he beats Pacquiao, then I would start asking for that, or at least, entertaining the thought of what if that. But at this moment, I mean, Viktor Postol, man, we're already talking Pacquiao. Now we're gonna talk Mayweather too.
Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm just having a little thought of my own. That's just my personal opinion. I'm just putting it out there. You know what I mean? I was just putting it out there. But yeah, for sure, man. Respect for your time, lads, man.
Oh, nice one, man. Good call, brother.
Oh yeah, this is another one. What do you think of people like Anthony Joshua getting title shots quickly in their career? Like, do you think Anthony Joshua deserves this heavyweight title, lads? I know we're off the subject, but this is another thing on to Ashes. What I got online.
No, that's one for Wingy, man, because I know it's not about a matter. I mean, look, it's boxing. In my opinion, I understand the reality I live in. So
that's why I was gonna go.
So it's like, he is who he is, so he got what he got. Everybody ain't dealt the same hand, man.
I kind of feel like he's obviously he's got the belt, but I kind of feel like I need him to get that big win big win over a named opponent before I can truly accept him as that champion in my own mind. Do you know what I mean? Because he got the belt, but the manner that Charles Martin got the belt was still not satisfactory for me. He's got the belt, and go Ness.
No. I'm nodding my head because I agree with you totally. It's like a breath of fresh air whenever you're not like pro UK, no matter what. Like this is actually you being unbiased, and it's like, yeah, you know.
I'm like that. I'm like that most of the time. Remember I said the Jekyll and Hyde thing, but sometimes you don't hear it because you go off on your own tangent.
No, because because sometimes you just slip it in another voice. I don't know if you know you do that. Like sometimes we'll just be talking like this, and you'll be like, "Oh, Kell Brooks in the pound for pound." It's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Really? Is he really?"
See, already the other side's coming out, Nez. I told you, brother. It's Jekyll and Hyde.
All right, we're gonna take our last caller of the night. Nobody else, so don't even press any buttons because it ain't gonna make any sense. 559, you're the lucky winner.
Oh, good. What's going on, man?
What's up? Who's this?
This is Alex Lemon, man.
Hey, what up, brother?
What up? Hey, man, I'm glad you guys are still on, man. I was listening to the show for an hour, then I went and watched Netflix with the family, but then I came back and you guys were still on. I was
still going.
Yeah.
We put in that work.
Hey, I got... What?
Sorry, I just said we put in that work. I said we put in that work. I'm screaming like a crazed lunatic. Corey, continue. Go.
No. Yes, you guys are definitely, man, grinding. Hey, I want to go to Dennis Green, a little quote. It said, man, he is who we thought he was. Terence Crawford, man, it's exactly what I thought he was, man. This guy proved it. He made Postol look mediocre. And so I got what I expected. And so I was happy for that. So I didn't mind buying the pay-per-view. And I'm excited about the pound-for-pound list, man. I'm already putting my list together. Can't wait for that show. So I just want to say big ups to, the Boxing Voice and you guys, man. Everybody on it.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, obviously, Alex. All your emails, I always get them, and Wingy is starting to receive them as well. I want to thank everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Round of applause for everybody, obviously, that participated in the show, that called in, that hit that thumbs up button, that shared it, that commented in the chat. Raymond Rocha, Mr. Wavy, Jack O'Neal, Swift Hands, A Muck, Joey, WBC champ, DJ Georgie Porgy. Who's this? C11, whatever the blah, 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 blah.
Dr. Mofongo.
Masterpiece, Dr. Mofongo. Swift Hands, Danny Garcia, Swift Hands. So yeah, all right. So we want you put it in the comments. What day or time is best? Hit us in social media or via email, so that we can pick the right time. Obviously, it needs to be a time that is suitable for my man Wingy, who is the co-host.
That work shift. Got to squeeze it in. Got to get that money, baby.
Exactly, and he has to also get the sleep. And we also have to prepare. We don't want to just come on here wildly. We want all you guys to prepare too. Don't come on here calling, wasting a call, talking about, Pacquiao, Vladimir. No, have your list prepared, because we're not even entertaining those type of.
So I guess people are going to ring up. They're going to give us their 10, and then somehow we've got to take all those, put it into a normal technique. Is that what we're talking about?
I'm thinking maybe we kind of like get
a list and then get people to.
Yeah, like get a list. Maybe like, all right, this is the top whatever, and then let them pick that pool.
Yeah, so you're talking like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Kell Brook, sort of like in a list, sort of, and then the other people from there on in, sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you throw those names in there, and you hope that some of the callers vote those names in, because, all you're doing is nominating them.
Yeah. Liam Smith, Terry Flanagan, and Andy Croller and whatnot. Cool, man.
Terry Flanagan is actually being rumored to have an easy fight with someone over here, right? I see.
Mm?
Yeah. Something in the works, no?
Not that I've heard, brother.
Man, I seen it today, man.
If it's today, then I haven't seen any boxing news today, man. Yeah. I've been working, then come straight here, brother.
Anybody just get a win over the weekend in his division? American or American television. Man, forget it. It's gonna be too hard to find it like that. But I did see it. Hopefully it does come to me. Anyway, you know what time it is. Almost time to go. We all love you here.
3:45 in the morning. Yeah.
4 in the morning for the Wingster. 227 likes on the live show.
So we didn't get to 250, so I'm not going to be giving that T-shirt out this time, but next time maybe.
I know. Next time. They didn't want no shirt. 250 would have done it. That being said, I am NestGTO, your host. Follow me on Twitter at NestGTO and Instagram at NestGTO for this weight loss and these gains. Kid is looking like I'm coming for Joshua. Oh, yeah. Anthony Joshua, I'll be there when goes down with Gennady. Looking for you with the 20-inch pythons, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, follow me there. And shoot at me some suggestions, some show titles if you want some spontaneous shows. I got to obviously pass those to the Wingster, see what he likes.
Cool. And, yeah, Nez, I think good win for Crawford just to round everything off. And it was a bit of a disappointing performance from Postol, but I'm happy that Crawford got that win. I think he looked good. And, yeah, I'm at UKWC.
Pittsburgh Brew. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm horrible at that. But Bruce, who's actually the one who is going to be doing the on-demand show, courtesy of all the likes and thumbs up that we receive, he said what I was thinking. And telekinesis. He pulled it out of my brain. Terry Flanagan, Felix Verdejo is a
Oh, God, no. I knew about that. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I did know that. But
that's not even a good fight. That's an easy one for Flanagan, man.
What? You taking? I thought you guys loved Verdejo over there.
Gil, I love you, baby, but an easy one for Flanagan, man. Nah, who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe Verdejo's one of those guys who shows up when the competition steps up, right?
You guys went cold on Verdejo because I remember hearing about it. I don't know if it was you necessarily, but a lot of Americans told me to check him out, and all of a sudden, last 2 or 3 fights, people don't like Verdejo no more, man.
Nah, I mean, hey, follow Bruce on any social media, man, because he just gave you that official new pound for pound show, something we've never done before. Good night, Batman Boxing. Have a good night, man. Thank you for all the support and always being in the chat with your positivity.
Yes. Let me finish off my social media. At UKWC Student. Wingy Boxing on YouTube. Go subscribe.
Subscribe to that YouTube channel. This guy's working around the clock. I mean, I seen him go live last night. It was 2:30 in the morning my time.
Your face, man. I got to grind, brother. Got to grind. There's too many youngsters out there trying to take the old boy's spot.
I was like, yo, this kid is coming for the throne, bro. He's working.
I'm trying to, bro.
Around the clock, he's working. That being said, man, we love you all. Drop us a 5-star review on iTunes.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Join us every Thursday and Sunday, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
And if you want to support, use our Amazon link when you're doing any shopping. Costs you nothing, gets a small kickback. And if you also want to support, you can drop a donation. That being said, good night.